What's up, dude? Excited?
What's up, Kev? Hey, Kev, can you bring down the shot? It's a little tiny baby bit.
No.
It's a little tiny baby bit, man. What's up, chat? How's it going?
You playing this wizarding game?
I'm not playing the wizarding game, Kevin. Is it good?
It's alright.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's a little bit more fun than Pokemon.
A little bit more fun than Pokemon. And what are you catching things or
I'm fighting a lot of shit.
you find a lot of shit? Mysteries or the missions?
I'm not looking into that.
Okay.
Hard. I'm not a reader, you know.
Do you find Turby McGoldabutts cum sock? The sock that you would always come in?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Wizarding World of Harry Potter, man. The fucking game.
You
Oh,
know
Wizards Unite?
I don't know what you mean. You stick to what you know, that Lord of the Rings shit.
Turby McGolden cut
Yeah,
or whatever.
stick to that
the
Lord
fuck.
of the Rings shit, you fucking nerd.
All right.
Yeah,
A lot
the
of
award-winning one.
hostility.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Ooh, it won some awards. Chill the fuck out, all right?
Robin
You're
GL says
losing
it's
me
middle
on that
guy.
one, too.
Oh, man.
What's up, Cam? What's up, Panzer? Hey, Lexi.
Panzer. Big legs.
Robin GL. The other day, no, when was it? I forgot when it was.
Joe
But
Merton
I
says
forgot.
his-
I forgot. Robin GL's like across the pond, right? I guess in Sweden, because they always
Okay.
they always send us
That
photos
sounds
of the
right.
Swedish king.
That sounds
Okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah, I think it was. But I remember getting a tweet super late and being like, "Why the fuck are you awake?" Because it was like 4 a.m. and I was awake because that's
Different
just
time for them.
what I've been
This-
doing lately.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
I've just been staying up late, Kev.
Oh, man, that's not great. You getting enough
Playing those
sleep,
games,
though?
those video games, doing some art.
It just becomes a thing where like I'm tired and I just fight it, and then I get a second wind and I'm good until like 5:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning.
Jesus. And then how late you sleeping?
I sleep until like noon.
Okay, I mean,
That's
nice.
I guess it evens itself out, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I've been waking up at 6 in the morning recently.
Really? Why? What was
What's
that?
causing that?
Paula started crunch, so the alarm just wakes up earlier, and I have for the next 30 minutes to be like, hey, you gotta wake up. Hey, sweetheart, you gotta leave by 6:45, or you're gonna be later because of the traffic.
She started eating Captain Crunch.
Oh, it was in my Twitch chat. It wasn't a tweet. What?
Yeah,
Why
you
are you
got
pointing?
me.
What happened?
You got me,
Nothing.
Barrett.
Oh.
He made a dumb joke.
Was it a golden joke?
Nah, it was like a bronze tier. What's below bronze tier?
It
you
was
would
like
say?
a rust.
Yeah, yeah.
It was in my Twitch chat that Robin GL popped in. I was like, "Why the fuck are you awake?" And I was like, "Oh no, wait. I guess it's like 8 in the morning for you, or 9 in the morning, or whatever."
Yeah, that means that's a question for why were you awake? That's the thing. That's the way.
That's just what I've been doing, man.
Oh, look at this.
Hey, what's
The,
up?
a life
the
I've
Trace
been leading.
Amigos and Kevin.
I hate you.
That's right, Kev. You know, we're like the Three Musketeers. You know how there was always 4?
There
Was
was
always
4.
weird.
Well, yeah,
it was always
Yeah,
four.
it was-
there's
it
a
was
fourth
the
one that they
three.
would always leave behind.
And it was the student.
It was Athos, Porthos,
Well, that's like the Hemsworth brothers,
Steven.
right?
Steve-O's,
And Johnny Knoxville.
and Wee Man. Oh, we're already out there.
Jesus.
What's up, Chickadee Chad? How you doing? Oh, cool, Greg. Loved your appearance on Nickname. Says Vaderman.
Shout out to that episode. It's fucking
shout out to that
hilarious.
episode.
He's gone now.
Man,
so
that was
we
just a
can't hear
fun
that.
one. We felt what's fun about Nicknames is we filmed all those back to back to back.
Right.
And it was a long day of filming. And so by I think the Bay Area slang one, I don't know if that's the first one we did or the last one.
No,
but you
that
can't
was
tell.
towards the end.
Was
I
it?
think
God,
that-
I was like
Was that not the
delirious.
first one? I thought that was the first one.
Oh no, you're right, Kevin. It was towards the beginning.
There was a
yeah.
lot of confusion too, because no one had discussed what the order was going to be.
Yeah.
And then at one point, just Nick was sitting there. I was like, I don't think you're here.
There was a lot of times where I'm like, "Am I on this? Oh, okay. Am I up now? No. Okay."
Well, I did a couple of fun ones too. The ones that I like doing that are less about naming and more about just guessing. Like I like to sit and then Photoshop the old '80s posters out and see if
yeah,
people
that
can
was a
get
fun
them.
one.
Yeah, Greg is just a mastermind when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
Tim is, on the other hand, zero concept of anything that came before the 1994. He has no idea. No idea.
None whatsoever.
You still
Cameron
doing
Kennedy-
Are you still doing the complimenting Greg thing? Was that what that was?
Oh, it's
Maybe.
compliment Greg. Yeah,
Yeah, well, Greg is great. He's
I
the best
tweeted.
of
Yeah,
us.
I tweeted out a very complimentary comment. Did you see my tweet, Nick?
No, what did it
Yeah,
say?
I'll link Kevin to it so you can bring it up.
That's a cool shirt you're
That's,
wearing.
that's fine.
Thanks, man.
What's he got?
What
on
is it?
there?
What's going on there? I can't read it.
Ooh.
Oh, Nintendo.
Black on
Oh.
charcoal gray Nintendo New York shirt.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
So I was DMing
That's assets to assets, please.
I was DMing Greg because I guess he's in Montreal. And I talked about, which I'll talk about on the actual podcast, about my adventure at the basketball court, Nick.
Ooh.
Oh, you had one?
Made a little trip back. But anyway, so I sent this to Greg.
Oof, that Dayquil did not sound like taste
Mix it in,
like it
Mixwell.
was.
Yeah,
It's still
Dayquil
good?
and
I wonder how long this stuff stays good for. Hey, if I pass out, it's because I took some Dayquil.
okay,
today.
cool.
Fine.
So Todd last week was talking shit to me in the basketball court, right? Well, I'm not talking shit, but he was like,
Who was this?
that guy last week when I lost in basketball because I was too tired.
Save it for the show?
Yeah, I'm bringing it up on the show anyway. So you could bring. Greg was like, "Oh, so the other team was a man down this time since we won." And I was like, "No, bitch, it was 5v5. Go fuck a bowl of poutine."
Whoa.
And I was like, "Shit, my bad. Greg is awesome."
Jesus.
Oh damn, dude, you can't fucking.
I messed up.
Come
I
on,
messed
bro.
up.
Now it extends another week.
No,
Now we gotta be
tomorrow
nice to
he's
him for Halloween.
back. Tomorrow he's back. Tomorrow Greg is back. And because Greg nailed the fucking taste test Oreo bullshit blindfold thing,
Right.
he's back tomorrow on Games Daily, and tomorrow is when you and I both have to tweet out the link of the Games Daily episode and be like, check out this great episode of Games Daily. Greg is one of the best hosts in gaming. A phenomenal dude to be around.
Just a
hashtag
great
Greg is
stand-up
great.
guy.
Yeah.
Really tall.
Greg is
He
great.
can eat a lot. I've seen him eat a lot, like way
He
too
pile
much.
drives kids.
He's totally inappropriate with children, but in like
Yeah.
a fun, inappropriate
I feel
way.
like
Are we borderline right now?
Yeah.
Starting to get to
can't-
borderline, yeah.
oh, okay, got it.
I
He's
can't
great.
tell.
No, he's awesome.
No, super great. So great that he's not here to host his own podcast. I mean, that in like a good way. He's taking time off.
For sure. Yeah.
So
yeah.
we gave him some time off, but
Yeah.
it'd be cooler if he was here.
I thought it was
Whatever.
another work trip or something. But
No, I thought so too, but then it turns out just fishing.
It was like a last
apparently.
minute,
Some stuff like that in Quebec. Just went fishing in Quebec.
is it that
Yep.
you guys
Yeah.
don't listen when people talk?
I guess.
Like, I
you
feel
know.
like he made a big deal about this being a vacation.
I had
Really?
zero knowledge that Greg was going to Montreal.
When he
this
put it up
weekend.
on Instagram, he made it seem like it was like a last minute decision.
Yeah, he did not mention that in
No,
my
but
presence
I'm talking
at all
about
last week.
like Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, is it on the calendar?
Whenever it's on the calendar. Whenever we had the meeting.
I wasn't here for the meeting.
he does pile drive kids. nothing
God,
but the
you
truth.
can't stop talking about how you weren't here for that meeting.
Panger in the chat says, "What are you drinking, Bear?" Today I'm drinking Angry Orchard hard cider,
Ooh.
the original brew. No, these are both for me. Sorry, cool.
Wow,
G.
it's
What I
Damn.
respect about this
Holy
is that
shit.
you've
Goes
got
to
one,
Walgreens all the time.
but you've also opened the second one because you know you're going to make it
I'm
to
ready.
number 2.
I brought these from home.
Was it a long weekend?
No, I just had these extra, and I didn't want to like keep them sitting in our fridge, knowing I wasn't going to probably touch them. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring these today.
Bring 'em, have
it's
some
a
fun.
slow day. I'm gonna make myself drink them.
Hell yeah, doggy dog.
is
I
like
brought 2
5%.
CZs from
Oh,
work from home
shit.
today.
Goddamn.
Thinking we weren't going to have any, but then past Nick totally fucked up, like hooked up rather, future Nick, because we got some DCs in there.
wow.
So
Why do you have
part
to
of me was
burp
like, why don't I just leave these in for
mid-sentence like
Andy because I know he loves the CZs. But I'll be honest with you, Andy, I'm on that CZ train now.
Yeah, that's what
doggy
I'm
dog.
saying, dog.
Can you hear it? Get on the train. It's going. It's too
You guys
late.
are
Go
the
run after
fucking
it.
worst.
It's the best, dude.
Man, I went to Target over the weekend and I thought about.
I hate you so
I
much.
looked down and I thought about getting that CCZ, man.
Oh my God! Let me
The
tell you what.
CCZ.
Let me tell you what,
Yeah.
dude. This weekend,
Cherry Coke Zero.
This weekend, it's I think it was Was it yesterday that we got volcano?
Yes, it was.
Anyway, I had a craving. I woke up and I was like, I want some volcano curry.
Yeah.
So I text Barrett. I'm like, do you and Alyssa want anything? Yeah. And then I looked and I had a bag that I just bought. I had bought CCZ the prior day.
Oh shit.
So I was like, oh my God, we got some CCZ
So
right here.
perfect.
Put it in that FZ freezer.
Yeah.
Put it in the freezer.
Yeah. Or just the F, I guess. It would
Yeah,
just be
put
the
it
F.
in the F up there.
I
The
mean, if it's
The
got
effer.
a Z in there, I think you can fill the Z in there.
Okay.
too.
Fair,
freeze
fair,
box,
fair,
you know.
Yeah.
Ice box.
put it in the freeze box. And then I set an alarm and I was like, remind me to get this soda for when the food gets here.
Mm-hmm.
Food got here. Grab out that CCZ. It's
ice
ice
cold.
cold.
Almost
dude.
a little
Actually,
too
not
cold.
super ice cold because like I didn't put it long enough. I felt like 20 minutes was long enough.
You don't wrap
freezer?
it. You don't
Yeah.
wrap it in.
Did you put it in the back?
No.
Oh, are you talking about like the cold, like
Yeah, the
like
wet
paper
paper towel?
Yeah.
It's a fucking
That's a
get
pro move
science
right
all the
there.
way up.
What? Sorry, say it again.
So you you put a damp paper towel around it as well, and that also like speeds up like it getting cold.
Wow.
Yep.
You know about this, Cool Greg?
Sucks in the coldness.
I guess it like makes like an ice kind of surrounding.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, like a force field, a barrier.
Toby Freeman asked a great question in the chat, and he says, why does Greg hate America? It's not that Greg hates America, it's just that he thinks Canada is better.
God, I love America so much.
So
I won't
It's
even.
okay.
let you joke about it that way. He loves America. You stop it, you son of a bitch.
He likes Chicago.
Chicago's cool, from what I've heard.
It's all right.
Will I ever make it over there? Probably not.
No, yeah.
What
I went
even happens in
once.
Chicago?
We ate 7-Eleven.
Michael Jordan?
It was awful.
Tell you what, when you suck on a Zycam and drink Diet Coke, it does not taste good.
Why are you eating a Zycam?
Because I'm getting sick.
You think
I
so?
don't know.
I know so.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I know when I'm feeling. He's like,
Yeah.
you think you're getting sick? I don't know.
yeah.
Someone told me I'm getting sick. No, I feel like
I
I'm
always get that feeling, man.
Are
Like,
you sure you're just not
know it.
tired?
I slept for 13 hours last night.
Ooh, that's hot.
That
So-
sounds like you slept too many hours.
There's
Literally,
nothing
my
worse
wife
than
and-
when you sleep a lot and you wake up and you just feel groggy.
Yeah.
You just feel like out
so
of it.
yesterday,
No,
I
I
woke
think
up at like-
heroin withdrawal is
God,
probably
I think I
worse.
woke up at like 11 yesterday.
Yeah,
and I was
probably,
like, oh,
Kev.
that's not a good. That's not good. Because normally I wake up around 9 on weekends, like to 9:30. That's like sleeping in for me. If I hit 10, I'm like, that's great. I got a good night's sleep.
There you go.
11 o'clock, I woke up. I'm like, that's not good. Felt good though. The missus and I decided to go for a walk. We walked up a really steep hill, and as we were walking up, I'm like, I'm real hot, but not the kind of like sweaty hot that I'm gonna cool off with. I got the hot on the face, hot,
Ooh.
where my face feels like it's devoid of blood, but I'm
It,
getting the
it
sweats.
almost feels like a sunburn, but you know you haven't been long.
Yeah,
out
but I haven't
enough
been there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I got out of the shower and I started sweating and I just kept sweating all day, even though it was kind of cold when we got up the hill. I was like, I'm getting sick.
That's just how I live.
And then
my
at 9
life.
o'clock, I was watching what I thought was the last episode of Jessica Jones. Because I was on episode 8 and I was like, oh, great. There's only like, this has got to be the last episode.
Right.
Turns out there's 13 episodes of that fucking season 3 of that abysmal show.
Did
and
they
I'm like,
not learn?
well, it's the last season of any Marvel TV show until they bring it back on, I guess, Disney Plus. But man, 13 episodes in this fucking. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was hoping it would be 6. At 6, I was like, I'm ready for this to fucking be done.
Did you finish it?
No, because at 9 o'clock, my wife looked at me and was like, you got to go to bed. You look like shit.
Yeah.
And she literally carried me over
Looking
to
out for
bed,
you.
put me to bed, put my socks on. That was it. 13 hours
tuck you
later, I
in?
woke up. She did, actually. It was nice.
Yeah.
Vader Man says, "Are we turning this CZ into DC into the next regular M&M's versus peanut?" No, I mean they're both great.
No.
One-
This
the
is
thing-
not
the
like
thing
that.
with M&M's and peanut M&M's, like one is vastly superior to the other.
Right.
Not
It's the
even
peanut.
close.
I would
Yeah.
say that if you were like, Nick, you want candy and all you gave me was M&Ms, I'd be okay with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if you said, Nick, I could give you M&Ms and I saw that you had some peanut M&Ms in your back pocket that you were fucking holding for yourself, we're fighting.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm bopping
Strangling
the
you to
fucking
death
nose.
with them.
Because that means you're a selfish motherfucker and you recognize the peanut M&Ms are better than regular M&Ms and you want to keep that shit for yourself.
Yeah.
Preach,
Game,
motherfucker.
respect, game. I get it.
Because
I
you would
get it,
do
'cause I would do the same thing.
Yeah, you would.
I would. But man, we saw John Wick. You and me, right?
Great movie.
Great movie. I had to change seats because I was sitting next to a homeless person who kept going. Left him with Andy though, like a friend.
thanks,
I just
man.
left him with
Appreciate
that.
that.
But man, I whittled my way through a half a bag of those peanut M&Ms,
Fuck yeah.
and I've just never been happier. Never been happier.
Did you
It
feel
would've
bad
been-
eventually?
What's that?
Did it like make you feel sick?
Oh yeah, I got maybe 5/4 of the way
Yeah.
through the bag.
Yeah, that's about right.
And that last fifth,
5/4. So
4/5 through the
There you
bag.
go.
That last fifth
80%.
was difficult to get
yeah.
through.
But did
But
you
you made
get
it
through-
happen.
did
All
you
in
get
one
through
go
it
is a
quick?
bad idea.
Well, I've also just been trying to do this thing more dietarily, where I just let myself think it's okay to not finish something.
There you
Because
go.
I grew up, and I would always be like in the Scarpino household, it was always finish what's on your plate,
Exactly.
and then have seconds and finish what's on your plate.
100%.
And so now I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like this bag, there's a lot of peanut M&Ms. It's okay if I just throw out some of the peanut M&Ms.
There
But
you go.
then
Or save it for later.
exactly. But then the frugal part of me goes, this bag was $17 at the movie theater.
Absolutely.
You got to get your money's worth. So
Yeah.
I'm snorting these things. I'm like,
Did your mom
scooping 'em up.
ever? Did your mom ever give you the like, man? You know, there's kids in Africa right now that they can't eat.
No, my mom was
totally
never
sure.
that subtle about it. She would go, I spent our hard-earned dollars on this, and if you don't eat
I'm going to
this,
ship you to Africa.
no, I'll just make you feel guilty about not eating this.
One
And
of
so
my
we ate it.
One of my favorite jokes. I've been watching Letterkenny, and they're making a joke about some dude not like finishing his meal, and the sister says like, "Hey, there's like starving kids like all around. Finish your food." And it's just like kind of a throwaway line. He's like, "Really? Name 10." And it's like the dumbest like small joke, but it fucking makes me crack up.
That's true though, man. Oh man, speaking of that, I watched it's kind of a non sequitur, but I watched Lord of War the other
Oh,
day.
it's a fun movie.
I haven't heard that.
It's on
Funny that it
Netflix.
should be-
You've seen it. It's Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
It's a movie where he plays an arms dealer, like a black market arms dealer.
Okay.
But it's so well done. I forgot how good the movie was, and it gets to the point where
How old is it?
I mean, it's got to be at least 10 years old.
Okay.
It was probably made in the
It
early
might
2000s.
even be older than that. It's a fun movie though.
If you've never seen it, it's actually really it's like because Nick Cage is always in Nick Cage now versus Nick Cage after leaving Las Vegas.
Right.
Very different people. Nick Cage like now
2005.
is 2005. So Nick Cage now is like, I'm broke. I need every cent I can get because I snorted it all up my nose, allegedly or supposedly.
No, he's buying shit, bro. He's buying art things that like nobody needs. He's buying fucking mummies' tombs and shit like that.
Is that what he does?
He's got that Spider-Verse money now, you know?
He's buying like
yes, it's an investment.
he's buying things that no, but like his investors are like, don't do this, like that sort of thing.
It's like when you ever see those the old footage of Michael Jackson where he'd go through auction houses or like art houses and you'd be like, I want that and that and that, and people are like, you don't even. He would just buy shit, and they would be like, no, and like the people that he'd buy it from, they interviewed, they're like, we're just gonna ship it to a warehouse somewhere. He's not even ever gonna see this again. He just wants to buy it.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
It's a weird. Well, it's like a weird addiction for people that have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Man,
to
it
go
sounds
back
like
to
a
Nick
really
Cage.
cool-
Nick Cage actually used to make really great movies.
Yeah.
Like he did. You forget. Everyone gives him shit, but everyone forgets Leaving Las Vegas was an Academy nominee. I think he won an Academy Award for that film.
Gotcha.
And I think Elizabeth Shue got nominated. It's a fucking great movie.
Was he nominated for Raising Arizona?
I think he might have been. Have you ever seen Raising Arizona?
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
It's great, yeah.
So between that and like, I'm still gonna give a shout out to Con Air. I'm gonna give a shout out to Con Air.
Con Air's
That's
fucking
fair.
great.
Con
Con
Air
Air's
is
dope,
great
dude.
movie.
The
okay?
coolest character
What's the other
name of what?
Face Off too is really good.
Face Off, good movie also.
Yeah.
I mean, Face Off is like
But it's no Con Air.
no, but I mean,
It's like a meme now.
they're both memes.
Oh no! But see, here's the thing: they made Face Off thinking this is going to be a great action movie. It became me. They made Con Air knowing what Con Air was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the second they put his ass in a mullet, what was the character's name? Cyrus the Virus.
Castor
Or whatever.
Troy.
I'm Castor Troy. Was that the main character's name?
Coolest fucking name.
But he had a mullet.
I never
like,
understood
why-
the hate for Nick Cage. I feel like Nick Cage is the Nickelback of actors.
Yeah.
Where there's just like he's like goofy. He's in like kind of bad shit every once in a while, but then like
Well-
there's this like unnecessary like hate for him for a while.
I think he.
No, I don't think there was ever hate. There was just
Really?
like he was just the butt of the joke.
People make fun of him a lot.
Yeah,
be-
well,
because
I
of
never understood
because of
it.
the later movies he was taking.
He used to. Yeah, the problem is he used to
National
be.
Treasure's a great fucking
It's a
movie.
good
Yeah,
movie.
good
So
movie,
you
yeah.
look back in his filmography, and he's done a lot of really fun, if not good, films.
Yeah.
It's just I think he had a point where his personal life just like basically erupted on him, and he just needed to start taking movies.
Yeah,
and like
that's fair.
I mean, he was in a movie called The Weatherman that was fucking phenomenal.
Really depressing.
They had this.
Yeah,
They had,
Really
vaguely
depressing,
sounds
really good.
they had a
familiar,
great
yeah.
topic on the Levitard show once because Mike Ryan, one of the producers, loves Nick Cage, like kind of ironically but also unironically, and he's like, I will put Nick Cage's top 5 films against anybody's top 5 films.
I mean, an argument can be made.
Yeah, and they were like, wow, you're actually kind of right because like a lot of his earlier stuff is really good.
I mean, we just talked about Leaving Las Vegas, Raising Arizona, both fucking great movies. Like
Yeah.
legit
yeah,
National
but
great
I mean,
Treasure.
like
Good to
Leonardo DiCaprio. Come on. Like,
I mean, he did a voice in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep. He was in Kick-Ass.
He was in Kick-Ass too.
was the dad in Kick-Ass?
No, he was.
Oh,
he
he's in
was
one as
first
well. Yeah,
one.
that's right. Let's go back. Let's go through the years here. Let's go through the years.
Let me
Kevin.
let me go to IMDb.
Yeah, go to IMDb because that's.
Yeah.
But like Lord of War,
They
great.
have
Gone in
pictures.
60 Seconds, fun movie.
God, he looks. Is that
He's-
picture recent?
looks
Because
rough,
he looks
yeah.
like a mess.
He's getting up there. And also, the hair
man.
plugs are just they're
Never
just
a good idea.
Not a good
Just
idea.
go full bald.
I
you
have
know?
like 2.
He looks like he's got a
paintings.
good head shape for it.
I have 2 paintings that I made,
It's gonna look like a peanut M&M.
like full paintings of him that I should sell.
Oh shit, he was
Of
in
Nick Cage, like
fucking
portraits.
Adaptation for Christ's sake. A great movie.
The Rock.
Oh, The Rock.
The Rock, shut the fucking front door, everyone.
Yep.
It's so cool looking at these movies and seeing that these movies are coming out in 2020.
I mean, he's like you
Like
guys saw
if
the
we're in the
list.
future.
Wait,
Kevin.
what is jujitsu? What is he doing with a movie called Jujitsu?
Who the fuck knows?
Oh, this is a.
I think we talked about this before. Right?
yeah, this is a yeah.
Whoa.
This looks like it's not going to be a great movie.
This doesn't really embody what
Looks
I
like
think of when I think of
Sharknado.
jujitsu. From the darkness, the ultimate fighter rises.
This looks like it's going
Well,
straight
they're
to
like in
voodoo.
They're like in a temple.
The
I just
Fire
don't know
Rises.
what's going on with this chain.
It's kind of the opposite of what jujitsu stands for.
I
like
don't know,
jujitsu is
but
like a
it's
very
kinky.
practical martial art where people like just like dispel any of this bougie bullshit or like woo woo bullshit, but whatever. Cool. All right. How long have we been going on this pre-show?
I think we're good.
This is a good one.
Yeah,
you guys
oh,
want
no,
to start
you're
the show?
ready, yeah.
Yeah, we're like 12 minutes
Can
in.
I ask you guys to try to stick to a topic?
No. We're gonna jump.
I mean, you can ask.
around.
I appreciate you asking.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'd like to talk for another hour on Nick Cage, if that's a possibility. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm your host, Nick Scarpino, surrounded by a lovely group of people, not the least of which, to my right, is Mr. Andy Cortez.
Hey, guys.
And to his immediate right, Barrett Courtney.
Oh,
joining the show
what's
today.
up? In the morning show, or
Yeah.
not in the morning, the pre-show for this.
Yeah.
Andy was talking about getting the urge to order some volcano curry. Great curry place near our house.
Yep.
And he texted me because he knows I love it.
Of course. Were you
And
in the
it's-
next room when he did that, by the way?
We're like 2 rooms over.
I respect
like,
that you guys are so lazy that you have to text each other.
Yeah.
I don't walk out of my
But
room.
when I get these texts, and it's usually once, maybe twice a month, it's like the most exciting time of my month. It's like, oh, Andy like wants to interact at home. What's up?
No,
So-
it's like, no, to me, it's like
I feel
when
the
you're
same way when my wife talks to me at home.
Yeah.
to me, it's like when your mom is like, when you'd be at home and your mom or dad would just be like, "You just want to get pizza tonight?" There's no more exciting feeling to me than that.
Yeah.
Like when
Yes.
it's Friday and you think, maybe you're inviting your friends over, you just went to the Freeze Frame or you went to Hollywood Video or All Hit Video and you're going to go rent
Video is.
the latest game,
Yep.
maybe like Mortal Kombat 2 or something like that, Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate Edition, and your mom is like, do you want to order, you want to call in and order to Peter Piper? Like, oh my God, this weekend's going to be so fucking dope
Because
right now.
here's what I always feel when I get to the weekends, right? I feel the need, the urgency to do something.
Yeah.
You always got to do, it's the weekend, you got to do something, right? When you were a kid, you felt that same urgency. You didn't really have the means to do something.
Right.
So when mom or dad would go, hey, you know what we're going to do tonight? We're going to order pizza and watch movies. That was it.
Yeah.
I don't need to do anything else for us. This is it. This is the weekend. I'm done.
This analogy is getting totally away from the
sure.
reality of our situation though, because it's never like a fun let's hang out in the living room and we get the volcano curry and then we just go back to our bedroom secluded and don't talk to each other for like another 3 weeks until he texts me again.
Do you guys
get
ever go,
volcano curry.
hey, I'm watching this thing. Do you guys want to come hang out with me and watch this thing?
No,
In the living room?
never. The only time we've ever done that was when we didn't live with each other and you'd come over to
Better
watch
Call
Better
Saul.
Call Saul.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
so-
I had a similar thing happen
Oh yeah.
where this weekend Gia is out of town and Paula is working.
Right.
Crunch. And I got a text from one Tim Gettys.
It's a very exciting
You
time.
want to get shrimp?
Ooh.
And I was like, yeah, I do.
That's exciting.
These guys and the shrimp.
We had.
It's so
No, I'm
weird.
not done, Nicholas.
Okay.
We had such a good time. Like we went there, we had a pitcher of beer, we had some
Oh, yeah.
shrimp, and then did we go across the street and get some ice cream? Well, don't tell Paula, but we sure did.
Did you guys go to the shrimp place that we went to the day
Yep.
I got engaged?
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's always that place, man. Go to the place near me and Barrett's place.
There are
Andy,
That
better
is
Andy-
pretty
shrimp
much near our
places.
place.
Andy-
It's just down the street.
You like that place because they make fried shrimp better.
But that's why,
we're
like, here's-
not getting fried shrimp.
No,
is our thing.
I'm not saying you have to get fried shrimp. Get the same thing you get at this other place.
But I don't know if it's good.
But their offering of their fried offering is
But we
far
don't get
superior to
we
that
don't
other
get
place.
the fried offering.
I know,
Gotcha.
but just get the other. Here's what I'm saying, Kevin. Here's what I'm saying.
Andy, there's an
Here's what I'm
established
saying. You want
relationship.
boiled shrimp from this one place that you fucking love. It's a 10 out of 10 for you, right?
Well, and
This-
the garlic noodles.
And their fried shrimp offering, fucking negative 18 out of 10,
no.
dude. So
That's
go to this
opinion,
other place that I like, and maybe their boiled offering is like an 8 out of 10, but their
here's the
fried
thing,
offering,
you're
through
not
the roof.
gonna come.
Yeah.
If you go to
This
that, if you go to that the place I'm talking about, I will absolutely go. Are you kidding me?
You hear that,
Bold.
Nick?
I was not listening to
I'm
any
gonna
of
call
that.
you if he doesn't come.
Oh my god! I would love to
would.
go. Dude.
All right, I'll
'Cause
throw
it's
this
literally
out there.
like-
I'll throw this out there.
yeah. Yeah.
This episode of the Kind of Funny podcast, by the way, is brought to you by Zebit and Upstart, but we'll get to those ad reads a little bit later. Before we do that, though, do want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers for this month, George Lopez, Mark Stravaggi, Karen O'Donnell, DJ Kento, and Sam Davis. You guys are all the best of the best. If you want to support this show, you can do it a number of different ways, but the best is going over to patreon.com/kindoffunny and backing us at any of those tiers, because any little bit counts. It helps pays everyone's salary, helps keep us flush with Diet Cokes.
Oh, you nailed
that's
the
what it
Starvaggi, by the way.
Starvaggi.
Because I know that Greg and I were kind of wondering, is it Starvaggi? And he tweeted me.
It's
was like,
Starvaggi.
It's a
yeah,
soft
two
G.
G's together gives
Soft
the
G.
GG.
GG's.
If it was Starvaggi, I think there needs to be an H in it. So it's GHI is how you say the G. G. Anyway, what is it with you guys in this shrimp? Why is shrimp the new jam?
It's not the new thing. It's just shrimps. I've been addicted to shrimp my whole life. Dude.
Yeah.
Like shrimp has always been a staple where it goes back to looking at Red Lobster as a once every 6 months sort of thing,
Yeah.
you know?
We should go to Red Lobster for lunch tomorrow.
Red Lobster was like this
in.
place that we went to because it was like more expensive and more upscale, right?
Oh, it was like
to my family and shit like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why like once a year.
They sold lobster there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do you understand the Scarpinos? When I was growing up, lobster? Are you kidding me? Elena, get the hell out of here. Elena Scarpino's not spending that kind of money on a fish. You want a fish? You're gonna go to the freezer. You're gonna thaw out some fish cutlets.
There you go.
And you're gonna microwave those things yourself. That's what you're gonna do.
Fish sticks. We also
We
had
had
fish
fish
sticks.
sticks.
back
We
in the
didn't
day,
really
Man, I
we didn't
miss
really do
fish
anything that
sticks.
was too outside of the realm of like normal. But lobster would have been like, get out of here.
Oh yeah, so
Surf
like
and
once
turf?
a year,
Sure.
it's my birthday, it's my brother's birthday. We're going to Red Lobster.
Yeah,
that
once a year, wow.
that was our destination because we just didn't go to that place very often. It's too expensive for us, you know.
Oh, yeah.
like to bring that many people, you know.
Oh, forget about it. Tell you this though, this is why I say we should go to Red Lobster. Kevin, what do they have at Red Lobster? What do they give you free at Red Lobster?
The
Cheddar
the
Bay
balls.
biscuits.
Cheddar Bay, the biscuits. And those are
That's it, the
freaking
biscuits.
fantastic.
Well, that's still a KFA bit that we're supposed to do.
We're gonna do it one day. Well, I want to tell everyone the story of when Meg Turney came to do content with us, and we were like, "Do you want to go to Red Lobster?" And she said yes, and it was one of the best lunches we've ever had.
It was fantastic.
It was. You got some sort of Alfredo dish that you didn't particularly
really
care
gross,
about.
yeah.
It was gross, but the cheddar biscuits were fantastic, and it just felt like we felt like we were pretending to be bigwigs around Meg Turney because we took her to Red Lobster. That's what I felt. I don't know if that's
Well,
how
we
you
did the
felt.
same
Instead
with
of like Buffalo Wild Wings or something
we
like
did the
that.
same with Gerard from Completionist.
That's right. We took
Yeah.
him, and then you made the same mistake again. You ordered the same thing, didn't you? You got the wrong.
No, I did that at Olive Garden one time with Andrea.
Oh, that's what it was,
Yeah.
man. Maybe you just don't like Alfredo sauce. Maybe you just don't like
No, it's
pasta Alfredo.
because I want every shrimp related thing to be similar to the dish that my aunt makes.
Yeah.
My aunt and my mom make shrimp linguine.
Ooh.
And it is the noodles. It is fucking like boiled shrimp, but it is just covered in garlic and lemon. And it's man, my mouth's watering just
That just
thinking
sounds
about it.
great. That just sounds great.
Yeah, and with the little bread, you get the little Texas toast.
A little Texas
And
toast.
you-
A little Texas
It's
two-step
my
toast.
favorite dish, dude. It would be my hey, you are
Last meal.
You're on the deathbed right now. Yeah, what do they call it?
Last meal.
Deathbed, death chair, death
yeah.
angel.
Well, let's put it this way. Well, one's something that most people die on.
row.
One you die on if you committed a heinous crime, and the other one is an obscure band that Kevin swears by.
swears by.
Dude, you guys know how much I love Death Angel?
Anyway, so shrimp. I fucking love shrimp.
Hates us so much.
He does. He does. But they get the boiled style. They get this sort of Cajun where you just have a bowl.
Oh yeah,
And you're peeling it and doing
You
the
get
thing.
the paper. You put on like newspaper
Yeah.
or whatever it is. That's
I
always
happen to
fun.
be like I love all sorts of shrimp. I just don't want to get that messy with it.
I don't want to. Here's my thing. It's interesting and kind of fun for the first couple shrimp when you got to peel them yourself. You know, when they got the legs and all that stuff, you got to
a
peel them yourself.
novelty.
It's
It's
a
a neat-
novelty.
yeah.
But after the first one, I'm like, can someone else come do this for me?
Yeah,
This
I've had
place
enough.
still has the head on it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, get
See,
out
it's
of
like-
my
it's the
face.
Rip
same
off
with-
the head and suck the juice out.
It's the same with when you go to
Toss
shabu
it.
shabu or like some sort of barbecue where you have to cook the food yourself.
Oh, it's so fun though.
Sure,
quick.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Remember? Hold on. Sorry, like non sequitur. Remember we went to
have to call
Let's
it.
Play Reunion
Sure.
and we
Yes.
went to that Korean barbecue
Yeah.
place and we were like, what do we do? Like,
Dude, that place
We were
was
trying to figure out if we were supposed
There
to
was
cook
so many
something or
mixed
not cook
signals.
something, and so we had we had a dish delivered. We could not figure out if we were supposed to cook it or not cook it.
Raw
And the
salad.
service of this place was not great. We'll just put it that way.
horrible.
They were not loving us.
Okay.
And let's put it this way, the feeling was mutual. We were not enjoying them. They were
Because
not
it was
enjoying
us, it was Sugar Pine, it was Funhouse, it was Achievement.
It was
a
a
bunch of
huge
loud
room
white,
of us,
bunch of
loud
white
as
dudes
shit.
getting.
And the people who were working there were just right off the get-go, like, we don't dig this. They're not communicating with us. We're not communicating with them. Done. They dropped this dish off, and I think it was a meat dish.
Yeah.
And I think it
like
was me
apples.
and Kevin and Andy and Tim and Greg, and we were trying to figure out if we were supposed to cook it or not. But no one was around to ask. So we figured out, you know what we're going to do is we're going to cook half of it.
And then we're gonna eat the other half raw.
And then leave the other half raw and see what happens. And I think what ended up happening was we were supposed to leave it raw, right, Kev?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh no, like someone at like 20 minutes in shuffled over and was like, no.
You're not supposed to
cook that.
this one.
And we were like, put up a sign with some pictures.
Was it like an
or
urgent
something.
thing? Like if you ate it, like
No.
cooked, like
it
you would
was
die
just
or
it was
something?
already cooked, or it was like a
Gotcha.
tartare or something that
It was
wasn't
a
supposed to be
tartare.
cooked. But I'll tell you what, I ate the fucking cooked thing. It was fine.
Good. It was good.
I ate both versions.
I just don't like when you walk
Before
away
they
from.
clarified.
Yeah, Kevin doesn't care. Kevin's got he's got
put
the
anything
stomach
in
of a
his body.
dog.
Yeah.
You know, he can eat his
Like
own
shit.
shit. It won't matter. It'll come right back out, dialed in, build it back up into the meal, serve it again at the table.
What is wrong with you?
Man.
I just don't. Here's the thing. I just don't love. You, it's a fun experience, but then you walk away from those pot places and your clothes just smell like
Oh,
it because
yeah,
the
it's
steam is just.
awesome.
You got to wash your pants the next day.
Yeah.
and I don't like
I
washing my
love that,
jeans.
like,
I wore the same
bonfire smell.
pair of jeans for like 3-4 days in a row.
I dated a girl once
Can't.
who worked at a sort of a
Bonfire.
hibachi place.
Yeah.
And it was called Tokyo Sushi or some shit like that. But they did the hibachi style that I love. One of my favorite. Again, my second deathbed meal when I die a second time, Kevin, would be hibachi style steak and shrimp.
Maybe do you, and then can I ask you a question? Go dialing it back 1 second. In your fantasy, do you die the first time, but then right at the last second, someone like you're like make a miraculous
governor
recovery?
gets
They're like, he was innocent.
He was, oh my god, he was innocent. So you get out, and then all of a sudden you're like, this, you can't convict me of the same crime twice. So you kill the person, and they're like, whoa, you actually
murder.
can. You got double jeopardy.
Yeah, I
Great
get
movie.
revenge.
Ashley Judd.
Yeah, exactly.
I imagined it like he actually rose like Jesus 3 days later.
Yeah.
Just like completely somewhere else, and
they were like,
someone
"Put him down
recognized it and was
again."
like, "Wait, he's totally alive."
We
have to kill you again.
We have to kill him again.
Yeah, so she worked at this hibachi style place, and every day she would come home from work, and she would always tell me, don't come over to my place yet. I have to shower and like put my clothes in the washer because like she just, like the whole apartment just starts to smell because of her.
Oh, yeah.
the clothing that she would
Well,
wear.
I
'cause
mean,
she's
you're
around all
literally aerating the smell.
Yeah, exactly.
You're piping the smell
Now, it
via
was
steam
a
into
great
the air.
smell.
it's
I
awesome.
love that
It's an
smell.
You just
awesome
came like,
smell.
did you do the thing where like she's like, okay, she's like, I gotta hop in the shower. You go, okay, cool, and then you dive into her hamper. And she goes,
I mean, that's weird.
Nah, that's a little
Cool
too
Greg
much.
just made a look that was like. Cool Greg
Greg's
makes a
very
lot of looks at
disappointed.
you, but that was definitely
most
top
of the
five.
looks that Cool Greg makes at me are befuddlement, where he's just like confused by what I'm saying.
Sure.
That one I just felt was disgust.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I just
that's
felt like
exactly
it was
what it
like,
was.
ew, that's a
exactly
little
what
too
it
much.
was. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I used to when I was a cook. I used to. I just wasn't aware of it when I was a cook. I used to reek of garlic.
Man,
Because we
that's
used to have
another
to
great
chop
smell.
up garlic,
Yeah.
but not when you get it on your hands and it's nauseating because it can cause headaches.
So
Yeah.
much.
If you have too much garlic. So I just start wearing gloves, and the rest of the cooks used to make fun of me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to fucking live this cook life. I go away from this place. I don't think ever about this place again. I come back to this. This is just the moneymaker.
Greg and Jen made me the shrimp linguine that I so crave once.
Yeah.
And they haven't made it for me since. And it's kind of like, what sort of messages are they sending me?
I think that they don't like you. I think they brought you over maybe to rob you or just to see if they'd like you, like a trial period. Maybe you could be their special friend or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
And it didn't work
But still,
out.
at the end of the day, Greg's a great guy.
Greg is a perfect human being.
Good person.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that, like, you know how they say, like, we're all moving toward, like,
Great host.
all the cultures and all the ethnicities, like, inbreeding, and then it's going to create the perfect human. In, like, 1,000 years, we're all going to look exactly the same.
Sure.
Greg is that guy right now.
Okay.
Okay, minus all of the perfection stuff. Like,
Kevin, can you
know,
Google
he's
Okay.
an
like-
image of shrimp linguine? I just want to look at it real
Still
quick.
have yet to ever eat shrimp or lobster.
Wait,
You
wait,
never
wait,
eaten
wait,
shrimp?
Wait, ever?
No.
Well, he was allergic to
Well, when I was growing up, I was told that I was allergic to shellfish and most seafood.
Oh,
So,
that's a I mean,
um,
that's
That
a
was-
very
that was
real
a lie.
allergy.
That was a lie, right?
Kevin,
No, it wasn't a lie.
the
Fuck, this looks amazing.
the fifth photo from the top left, I guess, like, yeah, either one of those in the middle are
one-
like
which one?
ideal. Bring up the one on the right.
Yeah.
Like,
That's hot.
Yeah.
like, and I could do without the Parmesan.
Oh,
I could do without the Parmesan.
no.
I could do
That's
without
what
the Parmesan.
it gives it thickness.
Maybe it's a different taste though. It like changes the flavor profile.
It gives it girth.
Like you want that lemon, you want that garlic taste. And speaking of like,
Never get rid of
you said
Parmesan.
how your fingers would smell like garlic. When my aunt or my mom makes this dish, the whole house just smells. Like you walk in, it's just you get hit by the smell, but it's so good, dude.
This is
My mom
beautiful.
used to make her
So
sauce
fucking
like
good.
once a week. She'd make a big thing of sauce. And when I come home from high school, you'd open the door and it would just the whole house would smell like garlic and onions, and you'd hear that someone in the kitchen, and I would just drop my stuff off and be like, I'm gonna fucking
that there's some fun being
feast
had
tonight. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
The closest I ever got to that was when my parents were out of town one weekend, and I decided to make weed brownies in my oven.
Cool.
Yeah, and
Whole house smell like weed for a while.
Oh yeah.
Parents catch you?
No,
Ah,
they were gone for like a week,
interesting.
so I was able to air the fuck out of that place for a couple
Did
days.
you guys party when your parents would leave?
Oh, all the time.
No,
You never did?
no.
Dude.
I would go to other people's houses when their parents are gone.
Yeah.
When my parents are gone, like my parents were like weirdly trusting of me, knowing that I hung out with a lot of people, a lot of friends my age that were always getting caught
Just shitheads,
with
yeah.
like either drinking or drugs or whatever. And by drugs, just weed or whatever. But my I was always way too scared to do that shit. Like the most I ever did was invite friends over and we would just play video games. Like I never did like the house party because my
So-
they're like fucking PIs, dude. Like my
yeah?
my mom can smell and notice anything that's wrong. My dad like fucking they have a keen eye, and I knew that like if I try anything, I'm gonna get caught.
We used to, obviously, having a brother who was 5 years older, and you've all met Matt Scarpino.
Oh yes,
We used to throw raging parties. My parents would go away on a Vegas trip every year with their friends.
that's fun.
It was great for them, more fun for us. They would go for 3 days, and all of their kids and us would get together at our house because we had a pool. We were the only family that had a pool, and we would just throw. I mean, there would just be so many people at these parties.
How big was this pool?
I mean, it's a normal kidney shaped, maybe 20 feet, 25 feet
Nice.
in length.
Yeah.
Okay,
So a decent size. I mean, we weren't like doing laps in it. We were getting hammered and
hanging out.
It was,
Just
Riverside, California in the
yeah.
midsummer. So at night it was still 80 degrees outside. You're sweating because you're drinking nothing but fucking like Michelob or Coors Light on ice. And it's just making you even hotter. And you're just getting in that pool, just hanging out at night, hoping, God, please don't drown. If my head dunks above water, I don't know if I have the wherewithal to get it back above. But no, what was always awesome is my mom always knew. She was always cool. She was like, I think past a certain point, she was always like, I knew. I just didn't want you guys driving anywhere. I knew y'all were going to party. I knew you guys were going to do whatever you were going to do because you're all idiots.
Yeah.
But I just wanted you guys to stay at the place. But we always wondered how she knew. And then it dawned on us one day that we would throw all the bottles away in the garbage. And so when she'd take the garbage, she'd go
that's an
to
amateur
take the
move right
garbage
there.
out.
Yeah.
It sounded like Christmas lights.
Oh my god.
And she would figure that out. But we also knew that she knew because she would cook like hella stuff for us and leave us with. She's like, I'll let you guys some food in the refrigerator, and we'd
Which is
open up
like
the
a
fridge,
junk.
stacked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way my
That's
brother and I
awesome.
could eat this stuff. So she'd leave us trays of lasagna. She'd leave us like dip that she would make 7-layer dips for us because she knew everyone was coming over. And my mom's hilarious because she likes two things: one, yelling at you when you've done something wrong, and two, being the house that has the good food. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So it was like these two entities of hers.
yeah.
that were
So
fighting,
she
where
knew she was like, if I give them the food, people will come over. That'll fulfill number 2, which is
Yes.
being the house has good food. And then when they throw the party, I get to yell at them at the end.
There you go.
So my mom was like an evil genius growing
Yes.
up.
Did she yell at you a bunch?
She would say you're not supposed to do that, and she'd yell. But we never got grounded
Gotcha.
because no one ever got hurt.
Right.
And so past a certain point, when you're 16, 17, 18, I think that's when your parents need to go like, let's give them enough rope to hang themselves with.
Yeah.
And if nothing happens, like maybe they are being responsible. Because let's call a spade a spade. My brother found alcohol, and he was like, I'm not stopping. And so I think my parents figured out that we need to give them enough responsibility with this so that they can treat drugs and alcohol
Yeah.
the way, like recreationally, the way they're supposed to be treated, which is don't overdo it, don't drive, don't do this. My brother had a couple issues here and there, but as did I, but like nothing serious, thank
And you
God.
guys found it out at the end of the day.
And we figured it out,
Yeah.
and we can use that stuff responsibly now,
Yeah.
with the exception of the cocaine, which we just don't do We just don't do period.
Yeah. Oh no, never at all.
Good save.
My mom would always, growing up, she would always tell me the stories of her throwing house parties because she was the one who would host them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she told me those to kind of like scare me into never doing them, because like some of those stories included my dad who was high off of something, like laughing and like slamming his head down on the table and like losing his front
Breaking his
tooth
teeth,
and stuff.
yeah.
And
I mean, we had my friends were always, because my friends came from like the international baccalaureate program and like the advanced placement classes and marching band.
Smart kids.
We were not the most impulsive people. We would go, hey, we want to party and we want to have fun. And yes, we would drink when we were underage and we would do stuff like that, but there was never a recklessness to it. It was always like, we're just gonna have fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'd overdo it, you'd throw up or whatever. I told the story, I think 2 podcasts ago, my buddy Stu throwing up Philadelphia cheesesteak Hot Pockets all over my room and totally ruining one of those like cotton comforters that we had. It was terrible.
Oh, no.
But like, that's the worst that would happen. My brother's friends, on the other hand, were
the wild ones.
like, I would look at him and be like, that dude's going to jail. That dude's going to jail. That dude's probably already knocked up 2 girls. That dude's going to jail. Like, they would do the things where they'd get super high and try and figure out how far off of the roof they would have to be to jump to make it into the pool. Like, that's the kind of stupid shit they would do.
Yeah.
Which was like a dare, like, I dare you to go a little bit farther back. I'm like, at some point, someone's losing this Russian roulette game, right? They're going to crack their fucking head open.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to just move them out to the middle of the street, pretend like we never knew them.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily we never really had.
Like, move out to the street, pretend like they fall off the curb. We don't know these guys.
Luckily we never had
Idiots.
issues like that. It was always very kind of
Chill.
My buddy Javi, he was like, his family was the better off of all of our families. His dad was like a judge and shit like that. So he had a really nice house, a giant backyard.
But was he
Greg's not
like,
feeling that.
because his dad was a judge, was he crazy?
No.
Oh, okay, so he was just normal.
No. Yeah. They're all chill. They're all like really. All of his sons were really good. I was in a band with him and his older brother, and when the parents were out of town, it was like, oh, let's we would throw a house party. We'd play like cover songs or whatever the fuck, and there was always a pool, and there was
fun.
beer and shit like that. But I was always like kind of too scared to get involved, just because I was always so scared of getting caught and letting my parents down.
Yeah.
I was always the one
We
who
weren't.
never
Yeah,
underage
we
drank. Like I was
Really?
always like,
Oh, God.
until I kind of like moved to Austin. That's when I started getting more into it.
What age were you when you
How
had your first drink? Do you remember?
Well, like
Like real
first
drink. I don't mean like, oh, I tasted beer when I was 13 at my uncle's party.
Nah, I was probably like.
I mean, like, let's get fucked up
I was
and
like
regret this in the morning.
17 maybe.
Okay,
16 or
that's pretty
17.
late.
Like I would try beer here and there, but the first time that I got like super drunk and vomited when I was like maybe 16 or 17.
Yeah, that's a good age.
But I just
think, to
never,
probably get
I
that
only
lesson.
ever did it when I knew I was staying at a person's place
Yeah.
and their parents were not going to be there. That's the only time I ever felt super comfortable.
Yeah, that was
doing
the
it.
same with me and like weed, right? I would like when I first smoked, it was I'm spending the night at my friend's house, and actually his parents were there, but I knew we would just walk. We just walked up the street to this lot, and we did it 2 or 3 times, and it was that thing where I was like, this is not affecting me. Maybe I'm a superhuman, right? I'd always thought that I was a superhuman, and this is like when it was going to kick in.
Maybe you still are.
Like my mutant power would kick in, and then there was the third time.
Yep, there you go.
We smoked, and it was the whole world just went like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. And time kind of stood still, and then I realized I was back in his room, and I was eating all of his mom's rice cakes. Like his mom had, this is like when rice cakes had hit the market, and they were like,
yeah.
that like flavored caramel rice cakes, the
Oh,
little
yeah,
tiny
those were
ones.
choice.
And the next morning, I remember waking up going like, am I still, oh, I'm fine. I felt fine. And his mom was like, who the fuck ate all the rice cakes? Who was it? And I was like, it was me. Luckily, I was super fat when I was in high school, so she was like, he's just nothing.
Fat
He's
kid,
just
yeah.
a fat
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I was never scared. Like I told my mom, like I think in sophomore year that I was smoking and all that stuff. But the thing that staved me off of alcohol for a while was because Bay Area, like the high schoolers are always going out to the beach doing bonfires and stuff. There's
Sounds
a day
cool.
where I had. In one day, it was my mom's birthday, and like I had brunch with her that day, and then she was like, "All right, fuck off! Like I'm gonna go like hang out with my friends," and so I was left to my own devices. And in that day, I had 3 Four Locos before they were
Jesus.
recalled.
yeah, because
yeah.
they like killed people.
Yeah.
They put people in comas.
before they were
Yeah,
nerfed.
and then I went home later that night and
Alex
like
disease.
The way our apartment is set up, like my bedroom was right next to the front door, so I could have just easily like gone into my bedroom and whatnot. But I was so like upset about something that I like needed to go upstairs, all the way upstairs to like the balcony where my mom was hanging out with her friends. I was like, "Mom," and she immediately was like, "Are you drunk?"
Yeah, you're
yeah,
hammered.
but that's besides the point.
Yeah,
And then,
you're like, "Oh shit."
And she wasn't even like that upset. She was more amused that night. And she's like, "All right, you're gonna drink like fucking 7 glasses of water before you go to bed."
Yeah.
And then the next day, she like went in like totally talking way too loud. She's like, "Hey, how you doing? How you feeling?" I was like, "Oh, pretty great. I don't get hangovers." She was like, "Oh, so last night wasn't your first time?" I was like, "Oh, kind of ratted myself out there."
Wow.
But
Damn, she outsmarted you like a fucking genius.
yeah. But yeah, it was because she knew, like every story I would tell her, she would always follow up with like, "That's cute. Let me tell you about this shit that I used to do."
Yeah.
And so like, I never felt like super scared to like tell her things, especially because if there was ever a line I would probably tell her that I would cross, and then she would probably be like, "Okay, like you need to calm the fuck down
Let's
here."
talk about that.
Yeah.
I think. Go ahead.
I was going to just talk about, there was always something really cool and exciting about when I was in my band playing random house shows around places in the valley.
I wish I'd have known you back then. I bet Andy was so cool.
It was just such a kind of scary yet exciting thing where like, oh, we're going to go play the show in Alamo or in Edinburgh or whatever. And it's like, and I wouldn't know, like, you just had no idea how the night was going to go because sometimes you get there and it's someone's house and they have a decent setup and you just set up your shit and there's like a lot of beer. And sometimes it's like in this weird sort of dark area of a city where there is no housing. It's just a bunch of cars parked around with like a generator.
It's like a Fall Out
and shit like
Boy video. It sounds awesome.
It was always really cool and exciting, like, going out to these random shows, not knowing what the hell was going to happen, not knowing when you were going to get home, not knowing like, am I going to get fucked up after the show? Am I going to try to drink, or are we just going to do the show and bounce? Like, what? These guys are here. Oh, we've played shows with them before. Cool, let's go talk. You know, like, it was always a really cool kind of communal experience.
That's similar. I mean, obviously, you had a lot more probably excitement in it, but that's why one of the reasons why I love comedy is because it's that same thing where you walk, you're like, I don't know how it's going to go. Is the audience going to be there tonight? Who's going to be with me on the lineup? Who do I get to hang out with in the green room? Is there going to be a green room? Is the green room a fucking closet that they've converted that I'm going to hit my head on?
Yeah.
Like, is there the mic? And, you know, so you get all the excitement of, is this going to be something special that all of us are having together? Or is this going to be a fight, literally and metaphorically speaking? And then I got to get the fuck home and never do this again.
Yeah.
That's
like,
always
is the
fun.
crowd going to be into it? Are they going to be drunk? What's this? Is there a stage? Well, you know, there's a lot of variables. And there was this one moment that I'll never forget where we were at we were playing inside of a house, and it was kind of like a giant empty room, and everybody was drinking in the other areas of the house or whatever. But when they came in to play the show, we played the show, and it was like fucking awesome. Everybody was drunk. It was like a really fucking fun show. And then there got to a point where I kind of lost track of where everybody else in my band was. And I remember, and bear in mind, there's no Uber, there's like no taxis or anything like that. I wasn't driving at the time. I didn't have a car at the time. And I remember like kind of being at this house show being like, how the fuck am I going to get home? Where is everybody?
Right.
And like, I remember texting them and then being like, oh yeah, we just went over here real quick. Like, well, where, like, and I just remember feeling fear of like, what do I do?
Yeah,
like,
what the hell do I do?
I'm stuck at this party. I don't
You're
know
like,
what
I
the
got to
fuck
make
do.
friends with the people that live here because
Yeah.
I now live here. I now live in this
It was
house.
always very scary. Yeah.
You got to be. It always fucking blew my mind when I'd go to a house party, and I didn't go to that many house parties when I was in high school because I was a nerd and nobody really gave a shit. Like, I would party with my friends, or I would
You
go
had your
party with like the
clique or
theater
whatever.
people, but I never went to like legit. Like, whoa, these people don't even have parents, or if they do, they don't give a fuck. Like, they're on that level. But everyone, like, I think I went to like 2, and it would always blow my mind when someone would have the balls to get a band. Because I'm like, you are asking for the cops to come to this house. And that was always the response. Like, I grew up being, I don't want to say the responsible one, but my brother was always the sort of devil may care person because he was like the tip of the spear. And so I got a lot of the luxury of learning from his mistakes, of being like, oh, it's silly to think that like high school kids aren't going to experiment with this stuff. But I always saw what he did. I was like, oh, there's a better way to do this. And that's like, have a designated driver. Don't overdo it. Make sure you're watching out for each other, things like that. So I would obviously be naturally, and it's going to come as a shock to everyone here, but I was always the natural paranoid one where I was like, I don't want the cops to get called. I don't want to deal with cops right now.
That's what I was
And
me,
so
dude.
you'd walk in and you see like thumping music or a house, or like a band, I'd be like, dude, you are asking for your neighbors who, and it's suburbs, so it's like pitch quiet outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Light 'em up, okay.
I can't believe
This
this
was
was
in the great
fucking 80s.
No, I mean that wasn't even. It was the 90s. How dare you?
You're old.
But that was always part of the fun of like you knew the house party, especially in college. So when we would throw parties in college, it was just a matter of time. That thing wasn't going to go on forever.
Yeah.
And to a certain point where when I was in college, we would throw parties knowing that at a certain point the cops were going to get called and that was going to be how the party ended. So
And it was only like, it was just figuring out how long to elongate them.
How can we get to the point? And like, we would have it to the point, like I remember I had friends that lived in Newport Beach and they would have a different person. They had 3 roommates and there was always a new person in the house. So like one person would leave, they'd graduate or whatever, and then they'd bring in the next person who was like a freshman or sophomore. And that person's duty was always to have to answer the door because he would be the new guy. And they would be like, do you live here? And yes, let me see your ID. And it would be a different ID than the person that answered before. So they would give him the warning. As opposed to if you answered it 3 or 4 times, then you got the ticket. Right. They'd be like, here's a noise ordinance ticket. And so they figured out that if they could do that, at a certain point, the guy, they met the one cop that was like, fuck you, you're getting a ticket. Everyone get the fuck out. But they figured out how to game this. Like, and you just did stupid shit like that. Until I realized that, oh my God, there's places once you hit 21, it's different. Because once you hit 21, you go, oh, there's a place I can go where we can party till 2 a.m. and it's called a bar. Yes. We can just go to a bar.
Exactly.
And that's where everyone goes.
And that's when you get grandfathered out of those parties because if you get caught at one of those, then you are responsible.
You are the one who bought the underage people the alcohol probably, and they're going to throw your ass in jail or give you a real big ticket or a misdemeanor.
There was a friend of mine, we were all underage drinking or whatever. And actually, you know what? I wasn't even at this party. Because that's how scared I was.
Is it like the time that y'all told me the story of the pickles and I just included myself in the retelling of that?
No, but this is just one of those stories where I won't name names. I haven't talked to them in ages, but I just don't want to put their names out there.
It's probably better not to do this.
But one of them,
I'm sure the statute of limitations up on this.
One of them was handcuffed and put in the back of a police trooper in the back of a police car because they were kind of throwing the party and they had. Actually, I don't even know if they were handcuffed. They were just put in the back of the car because they were supplying the beer and there was underage people there. And I think they were even underage at the time. And then another one of my friends, while the door was closed, snuck up to the police car, opened the door.
Why?
And they escaped.
Why?
And Senator Cool Greg just gave me the nod of approval.
Yeah, dude.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, yep. And I don't remember like the exact outcome of that. I just remember hearing this story and being like, why would he fucking do that? Like, and I was really good friends with him at the time. Yeah. But I don't talk to him that much anymore just because time.
See, this is how I know I could never be a police officer, right, Cool G? I could never be a cop. Because if some kid did that, I would be like, that is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I would be like Seth Rogen in Superbad. And David Hayter. I'd be like,
just hang out with him.
I'd be like, this kid's great. Let's just let him go.
No,
Let's
actually,
give him
he was handcuffed because I remember the details of like him struggling to get out of the car, like with his hands behind his back.
Terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. That is what is that? That's like resisting arrest, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it's like that's not a good thing.
So fucking funny, dude.
Man, could you imagine trying to explain that to your parents? All right, so we thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
If Andy opened the door and I escaped.
It's so stupid.
We thought it was a good idea at the time. The biggest party I've ever been to, it was another bonfire party, and I think this was like 2012, and I think it's still to this day the biggest bonfire party in San Francisco. Sweet. Where I'm pretty sure it was like right after, like it was either like a couple weeks into summer or something, and I kid you not, almost every single high schooler in San Francisco was at this fucking thing.
That's awesome.
Like we were going, like the party stretched like a mile. And so when the police showed up, the police were also just hanging out there for like hours. And we're not scared because it's like there are so many of us.
Like, what are they going to do? Call in like every cop in San Francisco to shut this party down?
And still there would be not enough.
No. That's like trying to shut down Coachella. You're like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It was the most ridiculous thing. It was like one of my friends who had like brought it together.
Yes, Kevin, I understand the references. The kid references.
Right.
The cool kid references.
Coachella's been around forever.
The scariest like bust up that we've ever had was like it was a way smaller party, but there's still a significant amount of us. And usually when the cops come to the beach, they'll like go like they'll pull up, they'll have the flashing and stuff. But this one, we did not even get a heads up that the cops were there. They didn't even put on their lights when they pulled up. They like pulled up, no lights on, walked into the middle of the group, and then started flashing their flashlights, and everybody like scattered. It was the craziest
Cops get off on that shit. If I was a cop, I'd fucking love that.
Weren't
Let's
even,
scare 'em.
We like separated from the group because we wanted to smoke weed, but we didn't want to share any. So we're just like, we looked over and we're like, oh, what is happening? It felt like the apocalypse. Almost.
That's a terrible
The reaction
feeling.
to it, at least. It was fucking hilarious.
No.
Yeah, I've always been. I have like such vivid memories of being at parties and like seeing flashlights over the fences.
Yeah.
Oh, I was at a party one time where we were all outside, and it freaked us the fuck out because we looked over and the house was pitch black, but there were flashlights in it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, is the house getting robbed? And then 2 cops popped out onto the balcony, and they're like, you guys are being too loud, shut up. Basically, that was all that happened. But it was like, I was like, what the fuck is going on in there? And I'm like, do I remember any of my Kempo from when I was 13? No, I don't. I don't remember any. That was big boy Nick. That was when Nick was like 260, hanging out. I was probably on my 50th cigarette of that night, just being like, oh no, I don't know what to do here. I definitely can't make it over that wall. So I just gotta give in to whatever this is. God. I mean, like, it's funny because I am no doubt, I mean, way healthier than I've ever been in my entire life at this moment. Like I work out more, I eat better, I don't drink that much, and I certainly don't smoke anymore. But when I see people in that time in their life, oh man, it brings me back.
Yeah,
I miss it a little bit, just a little bit.
Of course you do, yeah,
a little bit, because it was that
dangerous.
It was that anything can happen time, and like I'm in a time in my life where anything can't happen. Like there's certain things that I just don't happen. It can't happen to me, right? I will not get arrested. That's not going to happen. I know that for the most part, every night I'm going home to the same place and the same person, which is great. That's that's the life that I've designed for myself. But there was those times in your early 20s, mid 20s, when you're just a new place. You know, you go out with these new group of friends, these guys that you're vibing with heavily, and it's just what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And 99% of the time, it was let's sleep in the back of Tyroot's car because Tyroot was our designated driver and he's nowhere to be seen. We could not find him at the end of the night because, of course, he'd get drunk and hook up with someone, and we'd all be like, "Fuck!" And someone had his keys, so we were like, "I guess we'll just sleep in the back of his car or something."
Yeah.
But yeah, every once in a while, you'd have one of those magical nights, and it would be great.
Yeah, I'm in that transitioning period, definitely, because I spent a lot of those years in my high school years, so I felt like I got a lot of the partying out in those 4 years. Especially
I'd say you've transitioned. I don't know if you're transitioning still.
Well, you have a fiance, so
yes, I do. I'm in those steps, but it was like I got all of that out in high school, especially in my senior year, where like I had my first panic attack, and ever since then I have not been able to smoke weed. And then before the comments are like, "Oh, what strand, sativa or indica?" Trust me, I've already had that conversation with my mother, and it's like all the fucking doesn't matter what strand. Like
the one thing I've learned about weed, and I don't have too much experience with it because I was never.
Sorry, I just want to take a second. You sound such like a cop when you say
Listen,
weed.
Guys, the one thing I understand about the marijuana, the thing about weed with me is it just never took. I've never been high to the point. Because I've smoked a lot of weed in my life,
right?
But I've never been high to the point where I'm like, I love this. I just smoke and I go, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I just think it's honestly because different people, obviously everyone's different. Everyone has different chemistry in their bodies and their brains, and it affects people differently. Because I have friends that just love it. They just love it. They can't. It's to them. It is a staple in their life. It helps ease the anxiety. It helps ease all the social issues or social anxiety they have. And if you're one of those people out there and you can medicate like that or self-medicate like that, great. But I kind of feel like I missed out.
Yeah, you did.
Alcohol, I'm like, let's go. Okay. Alcohol was always my drug of choice just because I knew how much I could have. I knew how much all my friends could have. It's legal. I knew I could go to this one place, especially when I moved into the city. I knew I could go to bars and have a great time, and that no matter what, I could hop on one of those ZL cabs and I'd be home in like 10 minutes. And if I was hurting, I was throwing up. And if not, if I had the wherewithal, I had a burrito with me, like a little fucking football, and I was going to carry that thing past, right into the end zone.
Herschel Walker. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a fucking Heisman.
Emmett Smith.
Yeah, Emmett Smith.
All sorts of sports.
Joe Montana. John Elway. But yeah, weed I never got into. Even to this day, like every once in a while, I'll try like I'll smoke here and there. And I tried to get into like CBD for like anxiety, and it just doesn't work for me. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what there was some sort of personality change definitely when I was going out of high school, because it was the opposite for me for high school, where it was like weed was the thing that I latched onto, and it helps me with some of those things, and it helps me feel like I could let go, because a lot of my the struggles I have with my personality is not feeling in control, and that's why I am a terrible passenger in a car that I am not controlling, especially when Kevin is driving.
No, okay.
No, I'm giving a shit.
To be fair, Kevin is a special case. Kevin is not like normal people. Kevin actually enjoys driving.
How much he scares you.
Yeah, how much he scares you. He does. He'll say that he doesn't, but there's a little sick part of him.
I've never said
a little sick part of him that like enjoys
you guys get scared.
How he's almost
But it's
ping-ponging
because
himself.
I'm a very good driver.
I've noticed,
You know?
Barrett, when I take
when you're
you
drive,
home,
even I'm fucking
holding
on.
There'll just be a small moment where I'm like, I have to brake a little bit, and he'll kind of brace for it or whatever. And that's the thing is I'm a fine passenger in anybody's car. Except
terrible.
for Kevin.
The only person that I am fine with driving is, weirdly enough, my dad, because he also drives kind of like an old grandfather. My mother's words.
I feel like you'd be fine driving with me then too.
I haven't found any
Nick,
trouble with you.
run
because
reds all the time.
I don't know.
The times that I've
here's
driven
the-
with you, you haven't been terrible. I haven't noticed
I
anything.
pride myself on how safe a driver I am, but just like your grandparents, I drive slow and occasionally have lapses of judgment, and I'll blow back. It's because the lights on this street, some of them shouldn't be there, and some of them need lights.
No, but
it's just odd.
There have been moments where
Twice it's happened. I accidentally
not
ran a
even-
red light.
not even that.
Twice.
Just like-
and it's always you two idiots are in the car with me when it happens.
It's just I
hate it.
There's been moments where a car will honk on you, and you feel like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But it's your fault. And I just don't say anything.
Oh man. But
It is, wait, before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a second to tell you about our sponsors. All right, we're good. Listen, okay. I drive a lot. I drive everyone everywhere.
No, but
me and Kevin, this is the problem. You can't criticize me or Kevin because we're the only ones that drive anywhere.
But he
Tim
does it
doesn't even know how to
purposely.
drive his
Yeah,
car.
I
does
mean,
it purposely.
I do it purposely. I'm well aware.
When I first moved to San Francisco, and it was me, you, and Sean Pinch
and
truck.
it was Sean,
And you gave me it was the worst first impression I've ever had of this city. I just moved here. I'm scared.
We went,
I don't know
3
anything.
blocks. We went
and
3 blocks.
It was so far, Kevin. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
It was
you
so far.
remember where we went, right?
I've-
Didn't we go to Steak and Shake? Or
Yeah, it was
whatever?
good.
But that's
Fries were
3
good.
blocks
Fries were
away
good.
from my mom's
Didn't
house.
feel like it. Didn't feel like
it
it.
feels like an eternity when
Yeah.
you're sitting in Kevin's car.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm terrible. My personality can't feels like it needs to be in control, and that's why I'm terrible on airplanes as well. Which is I'm counting down the days that we have to fly to RTX. I'm excited for RTX in and of itself, but I'm fucking dreading that flight.
I used to have a very similar issue.
Yeah.
I really did. That was what I think really kind of was behind a lot of my claustrophobia, because I used to have issues in elevators and on planes, and a lot of that stemmed from needing to be able to control a situation.
Yep.
And now I don't have that anymore. Largely, I credit jiu-jitsu to that a lot, because I've been time and time again forced myself into situations now where you just can't get out, and so you just learn to live in the chaos of you just learn to live in being in a spot where you can't control, and you just let go.
That's what. Yeah, I've had those same problems.
And it's really cool.
That's why I had problems with I was always the guy who never smoked weed. Again, obviously,
I get it. You're
if you've
better than
listened-
me and Barrett. I get
No,
it.
but
Yeah.
no, but I was the one who would
Golden shot.
whenever
The new
I
golden
whenever
one,
I
the pure one or
would.
whatever.
computering.
You're useless. Whenever I would, it was always my friends are always like, "Oh shit, Andy's gonna smoke!" It was always
Oh, you
one
knew
of
it was
those.
gonna be a
moments.
good night.
Yeah.
Good night, yeah.
Yeah, and so I would smoke maybe twice a month, maybe every other weekend. My friends would maybe have weed, and they'd always smoke and pass it me as if. And they knew I wasn't gonna take
They're trying to enable you.
Yeah,
though.
they would always it's a very
my God.
Mexican, very Latino thing or whatever.
No, it's a very dude.
But
thing.
eventually,
We
when
used
I
to do
did,
it all the time, to my
eventually
friends.
when I did do it, they'd be like, "Oh shit, fucking Andy" or whatever.
just give
And
them a
so,
shut up.
but
and
then there was
smoke
a
it.
moment where I had a panic attack, and a lot of it was largely based off of. I remember there was an old Santa bit that Louis C.K. did. Rest in peace, Louis C.K.
He's still around.
Nah, we canceled him though. So
He's still around. Yeah, no one told him that though. He's still out there.
Anyway,
he just did the San Jose Improv and sold it out. So.
He had a bit where he was talking about smoking weed and how when he smoked this sort of new age weed that he was not used to, and he was
stronger.
and immediately my brain was like, oh my, you're stuck here for the next 2 hours. There's nothing you could do about it. Yep. And I had that same moment where I had this panic attack and I was like, I'm stuck in this frame of mind. There's nothing I can do.
Nothing you do.
And I had the same feeling I've had the same feeling on flights before where I'm like, I'm just on this flight and there's nothing that I can change about that. You know?
And I think that's really hard. I mean, that's definitely, I've had issues dealing with that in the past as well, which is just, and I understand why people would have that reaction. And I've never had that specific reaction to weed. I've had the reaction of, okay, how long is this going to last for? Because again, up until that point, the majority of my experience with like substances has been alcohol. And I know, like, I can just feel how to control the alcohol a little bit better. Because if you don't, what would happen is, for me, it would go, oh, I had one, I'll just throw up. Immediately throw up. And then I immediately feel better. Or it's fine. But with weed, it was always like, I don't know how long this shit's going to last. Yeah. Whatever. So I can totally sympathize with having that level of anxiety with it.
And that's why
I will not do hard drugs.
Yeah.
That's
why I took the advantage. I'm happy I took the advantage of my youth in high school before all that shit happened as much as I did. Because I tried things and I don't need to ever do it again. I'm totally cool.
I'll tell you, I'm fascinated by harder drugs. The drugs that, because like you see the news, like mushrooms and things like that are starting to become legalized in places.
Yeah, I just heard about it, like in Colorado.
Colorado legalized them. I think another state did as well.
I think like California is like close to.
Oakland's trying to.
I think Oakland was trying to,
yeah.
which is cool because there's a lot of people talk about there's potential medicinal benefits to a lot of these psychotropic drugs out there that we need to be researching and get to market, similar to how there are a lot of medicinal uses for marijuana. I can't speak to either of those because I don't really use either of those for medicinal purposes, but I think it's really fascinating. Having said that, when I hear people's experience about these things, I'm like, nope. Yeah, never gonna do this shit. How long does it last? It could last anywhere from an hour to a day. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not. No, I don't want to see hypocolors and talk to God for a whole fucking day. What are we gonna talk about? 80s movies? I guess we could talk about that for 24 hours. That's pretty good.
You want to do some shrooms while watching the original like remake of Planet of the Apes? No, it's a fucking terrible idea.
I don't want to do that.
So yeah, don't ever do that.
No, sure. Like the idea of all that stuff, just I'm like, I don't know that I need that in my life. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that's a way to get over my control complex.
But the thing that I found is that the thing that lets me let go of that is alcohol in like the adult age. Like when I was not binge drinking as you do in high school.
You tend to, because you don't know your limits, or you don't know that's a bad thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I found like beer that I actually liked, thanks to Kevin actually, who gave me a Shock Top, which was like the first beer that I ever actually kind of enjoyed.
Is that a Hefeweizen?
What is
it? Shock Top is like a Blue Moon.
Yeah, it's like wheat beer. Okay.
And then like through that, I started going down the rabbit hole of finding like the actual beers that I like. So it is actually like a different path that I have found and know the limits on and stuff. But it does weirdly enough like let go of the need to control something.
Well, I think there might be something to the fact that you found something that you enjoy the taste of,
right?
And so you can enjoy it on a different level. And that's honestly been one of the main reasons why I don't think I've ever had an issue with alcohol and with marijuana, because I've never enjoyed the feeling of marijuana. I actually now get to the point where I like the smell. Thinking it's legal here in California, so people are smoking it everywhere, and I kind of like, oh, that's kind of a nice smell.
Yeah.
But with alcohol, I'm just very fortunate in that I've never had a drink that I thought to myself, like a pure alcohol or beer, any distilled liquid that I tasted and went, this tastes fantastic. Like I still think everything that I still think that alcohol is a joke that the whole world's playing on me. Like everyone goes away when I'm not looking and they go, he's gonna fucking drink it. He's gonna drink it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look, he's gonna drink it. Oh shit. Yeah. You know, like bourbon. I'm like,
Yeah, there used to be a point where I didn't understand the addiction to the feeling of getting drunk. I never, like when I was younger, much younger, and I remember hearing about non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
I remember hearing it. I was like, why don't you just drink non-alcoholic beer? Like I always thought that, like, yeah, sure, but it's like, no, it's the addiction to the feeling.
Yeah,
so Barrett, so you're saying that alcohol like helps you through stuff, and that reminded me of Mitch Hedberg joke where he's like,
give it to me.
Where he's don't endorse alcoholism.
Where he's like, alcohol. He's like, I don't like when people say alcohol is a crutch, because a crutch helps you walk.
That is a really good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Alcohol is more like a step that I didn't see.
I want to just bring up there was an image going around on Twitter yesterday, I think, or maybe 2 days ago, where it was like retweet this or respond to this with like a childhood picture of you that like exudes like who you are today. And I responded with a tweet of baby me drinking beer, but it was an empty glass. I just want to make that clear.
That's
I did not say that in the tweet, but
that
it
was for the
very,
Instagram gold.
Yeah.
I mean, we should. I do feel obligated at this point to tell people if they're out there listening,
Yes.
you should use these substances responsibly.
Yeah, and
Please,
it's all in like
responsibly.
moderation and finding out like
Yeah.
what your limit is and
If
who
you
you
are-
are and where you are in your
Yeah,
life.
we're not. I want to make it clear we are not condoning underage use of any of these things. Please don't break the law. I really only have a couple rules when it comes to living your life. One, don't hurt anyone,
Gotcha.
including yourself. That includes yourself.
Yep.
And don't break the law.
Gotcha.
That's really it. Like,
No.
just be responsible, everyone, and make sure that you're not putting anyone's life or any laws in jeopardy. Please, for me.
I absolutely know my limits. Where it's like I will only not know my limits if I'm
Don't always wear
drinking
condoms
something.
is the third rule.
If I'm drinking something that I'm not familiar with, where like I know
absinthe.
when I'm about to get drunk. I know where it's like, all right, if you drink one more, you're probably gonna be past the level where you might want to vomit or whatever.
Let's get
or
you there at RTX.
Let's do it.
No, because I
dude.
just stopped because I don't want to feel that way. I
know,
you
I
know,
know. That's
I don't want to like. Being hungover is one thing, but like being blackout and vomiting, like
It's not fun.
I did that twice, and I'm like, I don't ever want to do that again. But one time that it blindsided me was champagne at a New Year's Eve party.
Bubbles will fuck you
Yeah,
up.
I had
Yeah.
no idea I felt
It's
like
the carbonation.
I felt like I had just barely drinking a few things, and then
like
immediately
just
I'm like,
juice,
oh my
man.
god, like where am I now? Like,
So, but now I don't know if this is actually scientifically accurate, but they attribute the drunkenness you get with champagne to the carbonation, which apparently helps enter your bloodstream faster, and the sugar.
Yeah.
The sugar will fuck you up because it like maybe it dehydrates you more.
Sounds right. Yeah, it's exactly right.
Yeah, so you got to be real careful with sugary stuff. Having said that, the only drinks I can have these days
Are sugary
are
ones?
sugary ones.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
I don't mean like crappy sugar because I've been at bars where I'm like, let me order a Moscow Mule, and it's like the Moscow Mule sauce, and I just want to throw up immediately. Like they
I'm
have
all
the
about it.
pre-made shit. No,
Nah,
it needs to
dude.
be
Oh, no,
a.
I'm
it
just
needs to
all
be
about
like the
Moscow
actual
mules.
made
No, I'm
Moscow
fine with the
Mule.
Moscow Mule, but it needs to be like some like I used to just. You guys know you've listened to me hours and hours just ripping on
I
craft
usually
cocktails.
Blackout.
That's fair.
Okay.
But I used to just fucking hate these places you'd go where you'd order a drink and it would take 15 minutes for the guy to make, and there'd be like fire involved and like magic, and a fucking pigeon would come out, and the guys they're always wearing suspenders.
Yeah,
you know.
three snakes.
Nick, remember that one
got a
place we
big
went
beard.
to where it's like, yeah, can I order an old fashioned? They're like, well, no, that's not how we do drinks. What are you feeling right now?
Yeah.
And it
they
was
want
like,
they
fuck,
gave you drinks.
that
based on what you drink.
legitimately happened.
That man.
We won't say the name of
My
it, but
response is an old fashioned.
yeah, I feel like an old fashioned. But I'll tell you one thing right now, I have turned a corner on those.
Oh Lord.
Not because I'm into it, but because I think it was Coin Op. Was that you remember that Coin Op place we went for for Ransky's?
Ransky's
I
going
went
right
with
the
the
corner.
not
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm into it.
No, not because I want to be like, oh, I'm into craft cocktails.
Yeah.
Where are my suspenders? Somebody order me a pair of suspenders and let me have a
Don't talk bad
ponytail.
about suspenders.
Uh,
Or ponytails.
I'm not going to talk bad about either of those things because I've worn both of those looks in my life. What I will say is this: the different in my older
I feel like you
age,
can though because you've done it.
It's true.
You know what I
Everyone
mean?
knows
Yeah.
that I had a Steven Seagal style ponytail.
It's like when
all throughout
people
high
say
school.
like, "Oh, I'm a fat person. I can make fun of fat people," or "I used to be fat," or whatever.
Yeah, you can't though.
Yeah.
People don't like it. Because I had
Kevin gets mad at you when
no,
you
I had
do
a
it.
solid 5 minutes about that, and it just never worked. Well, I was like, I used to be a fat person. Can I make fun of fat people? And the audience was like, yeah, why
No.
not? And the joke was always like, no, you're wrong. That was a test, and you totally failed. You can't make fun of people, period. But it never worked. I never figured out how to make it work. I'm going to keep going on it, though. Long story short is I've turned a corner on the craft cocktails because now in my elevated age, I don't want to waste time with shitty cocktails.
There you
Because
go.
you go from being mildly drunk to sick quicker with the shitty cocktails. Now I want something that has good ingredients, like a good, a higher end liquor and purer, like fresher juices, things like that. I feel like I just feel better and I can have 1 to 2 more than I would and not feel like shit the next day.
There you go.
But so like when we go to RTX, I got to be careful because some of the bars that the parties at are just like normal like tourist bars,
Right.
Where it's like, hey, this is a 6th Street bar. We're gonna just pour shit well down your throat, and I just feel bad like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a good craft cocktail in Austin, Texas. That's what I'm going to try to find.
I'm really
Respond in the YouTube comments below a good craft cocktail place.
Preferably
in
someplace
Austin.
within walking distance of the expo center, because Daddy's not trying to take an Uber anywhere.
Don't make Daddy take an Uber.
Don't call him Daddy. You're making it worse.
Call me
Ishmael.
Papi Chulo.
The total non sequitur. Total
That's fine.
change.
I think the
Isn't
topic.
that what this show is?
I think the topic of this podcast is going to be how to throw an underage party when your parents go out of town. So that's going to be fun. So we talked enough about that, because Kevin's always like, we're like, what did we talk about? Oh, we talked about shoes. Kevin's like, you talked about shoes for 5 seconds. You can't call it the shoe podcast. We talked for 45 minutes about how to party behind your parents' back.
There you go.
I think this is going to be good.
I got back at Todd over the weekend. All right, y'all may remember from the last episode.
Tell me about
I went
Todd.
to go play basketball, and I was gassed the second game. And
You're out of
our
shape
team
and not
lost
good at
real
basketball.
bad. And Todd was like, "Hey, congrats, other team! You know, you beat us playing 3v2."
Yeah, it's really a dick move, Todd.
And I was like, "Fuck you."
Can we figure out Todd's
I'm
last name
tired.
so we can put him on blast? Is that legal?
Anyway, went
Is
back
Todd,
out.
Is it Todd from Breaking Bad?
No,
Does he look as dumb as that guy?
That guy's
No,
a great
but-
actor, though.
Went back out there on Saturday. Cool, Greg.
Yeah.
And I just want you to. This,
Cool Greg,
this
come-
story's mostly for Cool
come
Greg.
sit here for this.
This
I
is
gotta
my. This is my redemption story right here at Cool Greg. I only played one game, granted, because I knew I'm gonna be gassed the second
Yeah,
game.
you're gonna get winded.
So I'm just gonna play one game, because fuck the second game, right, Cool Greg? First game, I go out there, and they're playing a game, and I'm waiting on the sidelines. I'm just getting my dribbles in, Cool Greg. I'm getting my shots up, right, just trying to practice. And they're like, all right, you want in? And they're like, all right, let's see, shoot for teams or whatever. So I shot, and they're like, all right, you got Pizza Boy.
Is your name Pizza Boy?
They call me Pizza Boy because I was wearing my DiGiorno hoodie.
Fuck yes.
And
That's a great
and then
nickname.
one of the guys was like, "Oh shit, it's because he's wearing a DiGiorno hoodie." I thought you were just being super racist. Like I thought like you were like he was like I thought you were just calling Pizza Boy because he looked Italian or some shit like that. And they're like, no, we had a fun time. Maybe Todd kind of redeemed himself with that joke. It was a funny thing, you know, whatever.
Okay.
And we get in there, Cool Greg, and we're going to 11. We're playing full court, and it's exhausting because running full court is fucking exhausting. And immediately they pass me the ball, and they're like, shoot it, you're open. Drain it. I mean, what am I supposed to do except drain the damn basketball? 2-0 immediately, Cool Greg. And then I get another pass, 4-0. I'm 2 for 2 right now. Get a little easy layup, 5 points for me, you know what I mean? 3 for 3 shooting.
Dude, you're like Kawhi or something like.
And then
holding
another
up your team.
Another 2-pointer for 7 points total. I end the game with 7 points. We win like 11-3, and everybody's mad at me and stuff because I'm just like I just came in here and hopped in and started schooling these dudes, and they're like, "All right, game 2." And I was like, I gotta go, man. I got stuff to do.
Yeah,
But I was just so fucking tired, dude. Because I knew that if I tried to play a second game, no chance in hell. So I put on my Instagram, like, "Fuck you, Todd. Like, we got you back."
Yeah.
After you talk shit to me, I carried the whole damn team, and I just felt great about it.
I want
On
to.
your team?
No, he was on the other squad.
I want to like
shit,
come
got him,
with
dude.
you on these basketball adventures.
You should.
Not to like to play like kind of like whatever basketball with you, but to also just like watch the team like matches here.
So I asked him. I one of the other guys. I was like, so do you all come out here? You all come out here every Saturday. That's what you told me last time. But like, how long have you been doing this for? And he was like 12 years. I was like, holy shit. I was like, wow. And he was like, yeah, pretty much all of us. Like, there hasn't really been anybody that's come and gone and like moved away. Like, we've all known each other for a long time. It's all these like upper 30s, lower 40s dudes that play basketball every Saturday, and they're all like pretty decent. You could tell they played like in high school and shit like that.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, holy shit. I was like, wow, that's a long time. He was like, yeah, we've been doing this for quite a while. So every Saturday they're out there like at noon. So that's where I'll be. That's where you can find me every Saturday.
There you go. There you go.
If you want to catch these handles, you know.
There was nothing I felt prouder of. Like my dad tried so hard to get me into basketball. Like the one thing that sucked was baseball. But I'd still like go out and like play basketball with him, and then he would go in to like get picked for these pickup games because people would like watch him like play and be like, I got
Yeah,
that
we
guy
want
and
him.
shit.
Yeah.
There's nothing that made me prouder like when that would happen. So I want to like just join you to like hang out and be like, yeah, that's
Daddy
Andy.
Courtney.
No, Mr. Barrett.
Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett. Yeah.
Don't call him Daddy Courtney. That's fucking
Nick, I
weird.
just want to update you. I kicked ass on Saturday. We got back at Todd.
Fucking Todd. man.
I'm very glad to hear that because I know that had been weighing on you.
Yeah, I've
For
been
a
thinking
very
about it a
long
lot.
time.
I've been thinking about it a lot. Went out there, I shot 4 or 4 from the field for 7 points.
Did you guys win?
We won 11-3, I think.
Dude, burn blue.
It was great,
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
Burn blue,
Fuck
dude.
Todd.
Speaking of burn blue, Dallas Fuel, not looking good. Not looking good. I tried new pizza over the weekend.
Yeah.
Tell me about this place.
So this is
Sorry, what's the name of the place?
the name of the place is Pizza Oki.
Is
And
it
it
a
is-
karaoke place?
It is owned by it is created and owned by Steve Aoki's family.
No shit.
Did you know Steve Aoki's family made Benihana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until this weekend.
Wasn't that not a Facts of the Furious that was brought up?
Possibly. No, I thought no, it was about the sister.
Yeah, but I feel like that was also brought
Oh,
up.
Benihana's brought
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so
Did they
pizza.
get in a lot of trouble for something?
Did they?
One of their partners or something?
The CEO, I think, got in trouble. It was around the same time of, I don't know. They talked about it in Wolf of Wall Street. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's a good movie.
Great movie.
So I tried out Pizza Oki. It's late at night. I'm doing a long ass stream. I just finished I finally finished. Remember for our fundraiser on Patreon
For January.
we had like 3 different. There was 3 different people that won auction bids to have me draw them or whatever. I finally finished the final one. I was working all that. Matt from Rhode Island wanted me to draw him as Space Ghost, so I was working and
Coast
did
to
that.
coast, baby.
Yeah.
It was
man.
dope. And then I was like, oh, it's time for food, right? I'm done with this drawing. It's time for food. I'm going to order food and then play a game afterwards. And I'm looking, and I was like, holy shit, I forgot that I meant to order from Pizza Oki the other day. And I looked it up, and so Pizza Oki was created by, I guess, his family or whatever. And it's only in Los Angeles, but they just opened up a pop-up shop here in San Francisco.
That's cool.
So I ordered from Pizza Oki. The pizza gets here. Barrett gets it for me because
Our
whatever.
bedroom is like right next to the.
I'm aware. Yeah.
And
you
so
guys are the ones closest to the door.
and the frustrating thing lately with these fucking like deliveries is they always do like a tiny knock, like
Yeah.
a tiny. So like I
they
wait a
want
little
you to
bit
fuck
I'm
and I
usually
try to
really good about
Yeah, like
looking at like,
hearing- yeah.
let me go get it or whatever.
But like every once in a while, it'll just be like the tiniest knock, or I'll hear it and I'll wait because I'm like, typically
that
it's like a
real?
Grubhub or like no, I'll know it's real, but I'll like, all right, someone else is ordering food, so I'll wait, and then when I don't hear someone like get out of the rooms to go get it after 30 seconds, I'll like, all right, I'll go get it. And so, sorry to. Really quick, I did that for you for the Steve Aoki pizza place.
Steve Aoki
Steve
showed
Aoki.
up.
Yeah.
But I
I
by his
also
sister's name. Was it? Is like Suki Aoki?
yeah, but I also got fucking tricked yesterday where it happened again yesterday, and I thought like, oh, someone else ordered food, and I opened the door, it's fucking Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about when I got locked out
Oh no,
because I locked myself out.
Yeah.
Anyway, pizza gets here. And
Now, what are we talking about? Pan pizza, thin pizza?
Yeah, what type?
it's like definitely not pan. It's definitely not pan.
I'm tired
Is
of,
it
by the
California?
way, I'm tired
West
of people
Coast pizza?
not doing pan pizza.
I mean, I've had enough of
It's
pan.
a fair stance.
Because everyone, I feel like it's so easy. It's economical to do this thin crust bullshit pizza. You get
What's wrong with thin crust?
Get out of
it's
here,
it's
dude.
all okay.
Don't shame any pizza, all right?
I'm going to tell you what's wrong with thin crust. It's not structurally. Doesn't have the structural integrity enough to hold all my fucking pineapple that I want to put on top of that pizza.
Come on, Nick. Come on. You don't mean that.
I'm
I don't order
high-fiving
pineapple
him
pizza, but if the pineapple pizza's there,
You're
Barrett and
gonna
I
eat
call it dessert pizza. You have a couple slices of real pizza, and then
that's
you know
the
what? You know what? I'm gonna have a pineapple
That's
pizza.
that's the main course for me.
That's
I
what it is.
high-fived him for the pineapple on pizza,
That's
not
nasty.
for shaming pizza in general. Because you don't shame any pizza, because pizza everywhere is loved by someone.
no.
So anyway, let me get fucking back to
let
the
me,
review.
let me clarify my stance on this thin crust bullshit. I actually like thin crust pizza, but I like pan pizza more. I get so much thin crust in the city because nobody does a thicker crust here.
Right.
So my options are always either a thin crust or like the New York style crust where you have to bend the fucking thing and fold it,
Yeah.
otherwise it goes
Oh,
limp
it's
dick on you.
so good.
That's always fun because it's late night, whatever. So it's either that or you get a deep dish. But I want like a pan thicker, nice
dude,
slice. Dog.
Via 313, baby.
That's why I'm saying Andy and Nick eat a pizza via 313 in Austin this week.
Okay.
Next week.
I'm in.
Okay.
So the Pizza Oki arrives. I open the box and it's smelling delicious. And I take a bite, and it is by far the best late night delivery pizza I have ordered.
Son of a
Okay,
bitch.
so
must pay.
what type of pizza are we talking here?
I posted a photo of it on Instagram. It's hard to
Kevin,
describe.
Kevin, can we bring up
I'm
this
on it.
It
Instagram?
looks like just like a hand
This is making me
tossed.
really hungry
Okay,
right
but
now.
me too.
what toppings are we talking about specifically?
Oh, I just go basic pep.
Pineapple.
I go basic pep.
You
And-
can't ever go wrong with basic pep.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
and so I had a rant about this. I had a fucking rant about this, and I'll
me your- tell
on
me your
Twitter. Sorry, Kev. I put it on Twitter.
Oh.
I will say
My
that.
bad.
Look at me looking at that fucking balling out right
No,
there.
no
Look
one's
at you
seeing
balling
that.
out,
Balling
dude.
out, so cool.
No one can
Dude,
see
look
you.
at our little son, Link.
It's so pretty.
Look at that. Look at Andrea. Now
at
we're just
Andrea's
looking at
surprised.
Twitter.
Yeah,
You
we're
guys
just-
stop talking about what's on this
Bring it up
screen.
so people can enjoy
Look at
it.
Kevin going through Twitter.
He's killing
There
it.
we
He's
go.
killing
There we
it.
go. Where have we got here? What is
close.
it? Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
there's
Back from
the
Rhode
there's the
Island.
drawing.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
See,
Oh, that
that's what I'm
looks
talking
good.
about. That's a nice thickness.
You know
to
what's
that
going on
pizza.
here that I really like?
What's up?
A lot of red sauce.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
Kevin.
I fucking love that too.
I am not exaggerating, Kevin. It is the best red sauce I've had in San Francisco.
Holy shit.
In San Francisco. I don't want to, whatever. But
that's still exciting.
I love red sauce.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
love when you take a bite and there's that tang to it.
yes.
Like twang, Kevin.
This is exciting shit, dude.
It is,
I know
yeah.
what you're talking
So
about.
there it is. Yeah, look, there it
He
is.
looks like a psychopath, though.
Steve Aoki's one of those guys that I just don't think I'll ever get. I understand.
the same, but I
know?
respect him. You
Well,
know?
I respect the game, but he's like, but there was a time in my life where I just didn't want to believe that being a professional DJ was like a thing people could do.
He was the first one I feel like who like proved it in my eyes at least.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's great, and I'm sure there's going to be a small contingent of people listening to this podcast who are like, Steve Aoki's the best thing ever made. But I just never, I never really got
And
that.
they know what they're doing because they're branding it with him everywhere.
Oh, he's not.
Dude,
they're not dumb.
the-
They're certainly not putting his sister's unsuccessful mug on that thing.
Whoa,
She's been in like
Jesus,
one movie.
man.
Oh man,
Show me.
but it was a great movie.
Kevin,
Just
so
saying.
they did
it's like
not.
when they made Wahlburgers, did they put fucking the third Wahlberg on there? No,
I
they put
think
they
they
put
did.
Donnie. Yeah, Bob Wahlberg. They put Mark and they put Donnie,
Bob
and that was
Wahlberg.
it.
Who's Donnie Wahlberg?
Donnie
Donnie
Wahlberg
Wahlberg
from
from
New Kids on the
Saw.
Block, bro.
from
Wait,
Saw.
that wasn't the one Wahlberg that we always know?
No.
Mark Wahlberg is the one we always know. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm Mark Wahlberg. I'm talking to this
Marky
thing.
Mark,
Is this
man.
a mic? Can you
Danny,
hear my voice?
Donnie was from New Kids on the Block. Anyway,
Wait, isn't Marky
also
Mark?
in Sixth Sense. He was the
also?
killer in Sixth Sense.
what?
Marky Mark, is that not?
That's
Marky Mark
Wahlberg.
is Mark Wahlberg.
He's not from New Kids on the Block.
No, Donnie
no,
Wahlberg. is
Donnie
from New
Wahlberg
Kids
was,
on the
and then they were like,
Okay,
"Oh
I
my
know
God,
him.
there's a younger, better looking version. Let's market him as a
Donnie
hip-hop star."
Wahlberg was in
and he was
Saw
Marky
2.
Mark in the Funky Bunch.
Remember Saw 2, Kev?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
he's been.
Donnie.
I think he's on a TV show, right? He's actually had a very good
No,
career.
he's
Very good career.
He's got
I
like
respect Donnie
He's got
Wahlberg.
like the Chicago PD scene.
Yeah,
on
the
lock.
TV. Yeah.
This is beautiful
yo,
looking.
this pizza
So
looks
yeah,
hot.
so the I really appreciated the bread. The breading, the crust was fantastic.
This looks like we used to make a bumpus.
But dude, the
Where I grew
fucking
up.
sauce.
You can't make up words
They didn't
like that.
skimp on the sauce, and it was so tangy, and I loved it.
Should we
And I-
order
I like
this tonight?
I like a sharpness to that.
Yeah.
Should we order
the
one right
pizza
now?
sauce.
I think we should, Kevin. So, like, I will definitely be ordering this over Pasquale's. Maybe not Pasquale's. but
Pasquale's is
definitely,
good.
Definitely Donairo's. Definitely.
Really? You were swearing up and down the block about Donaires.
This is. I will.
I just got on that train too.
I will absolutely pick this over any other spot, and it was also fairly cheap. Like a little 12-inch, like kind of small, maybe medium size or whatever. It was like $11, $12, something like that.
I had when you order pizza. Do you ever think I should get two?
No.
All the
Because
time.
usually
dude.
when I'm ordering pizza, it's
hate
always a night that
myself.
Alyssa's out. So it's like if I get two, I am like shit. Like
I'm gonna eat all
No,
day.
but here's the thing. But
Yeah.
you always get tempted when you're looking at the Pizza Hut website and you're desperate, and it's like 2 mediums for $8, and you're like,
yeah.
holy
Yeah.
shit!
I gotta get that.
I guess I'm
And
getting
it comes with 2 liter of RC cola.
I'm getting
You're like,
two,
I
bro.
want it.
and sometimes Alyssa
cool
feels
regular.
trashy enough that she will do that, and so like we'll fuck up 2
Yeah,
mediums.
every once in a while
Yeah.
with my wife. It's
Delicious,
like,
dude.
I will get pizza.
Next time
I
you're feeling
order
pizza, you gotta
so
let me
much.
know because I gotta start adventuring with you.
So we're
Yeah.
Like I gave up for a while on San Francisco pizza.
No,
But, like,
I mean, like, so look, I'm a lover of all pizza. I'm never the type to like, shame cities for their pizza. Like,
Right.
I feel like if you look hard enough, you'll find a pizza that you enjoy or whatever, or
Yeah.
that's still good.
Yeah.
I happen to like a lot of pizzas, but here's what I was fucking. I had a little rant.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Give me a little.
Here's what
little
happens.
Rant.
Here's what
That would be, by
happens.
the way, if you were a hip hop artist, that's what your name would be. Lil Rant.
Little rant.
Lil
Cool G, how do you feel about
Ooze.
that?
Cool
Lil
Greg's
Rant
not happy
Uzi
with
Vert
that.
Shotgun X.
Little rant.
Here's my problem
Lil
with
Rant, though.
here's my problem with working at companies that order pizza.
Good.
Yeah.
Working at companies that order pizza, and maybe I'm not talking about Kind of Funny. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm also talking about Rooster Teeth. Maybe I'm also talking about every other place I've ever fucking worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
That orders pizza. Right. I'm a basic guy.
Yeah.
I love pepperoni.
Just get pep. There's never enough
Give
pep.
me pep.
Never enough pep.
Are
Here's
we
what
getting-
fucking happens, Kevin.
Guys,
You're gonna
are we-
agree with me on this,
Guys,
Kevin.
are we getting a 12-inch right now, or what's up?
It's really small. Like that's
That's what I'm
It
saying. You
is
need
really
2.
small.
Get 5 12 inches.
get an 18-inch.
Get 16 inches.
I'm sitting here right here.
Yeah.
Do it, Kev.
Kevin,
Pull the fucking trigger.
Kevin, you're gonna
Kevin,
agree,
stop being a fucking coward. Order the pizza.
you're gonna agree
Nick,
with
do
me
you
on
actually
this.
want me to order the pizza?
I'm leaving after this. You guys can do whatever you want.
He's never down.
Do it.
I'm trying to get fit for RTX.
You'll be on the boat with me on this one, Kevin.
I'm listening, bro.
So here's what happens at companies when they order
I
pizza.
hate this.
Everybody wants pepperoni.
That's all people
Everybody
want.
loves pepperoni.
Then there's people who don't eat
That's
pep- give
all
them
I
cheese.
want.
That's
And
it.
that's all I want.
Nobody
and,
wants
And then it's like, what should we
anything
order?
else.
We'll get 3 larges. What should we order? For me, it's like, get 3 pep. Get 2 pep.
Yep.
And
But
then
here's what
one's
happens.
extra, yeah.
Here's what happens. It's one extreme meat lovers stuff. It's one supreme and it's one pep. But then here's what fucking happens. At the end of the day, the pep is all gone and there's half supreme and there's 3/4 left of the meat lovers.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm the only one who wanted all pep and you guys just taking all the pep from me.
Don't take the pep from him.
Andy,
You know what I mean?
Don't take his pep.
Andy, here's the thing. Okay? I'm the one that ate all the Supreme, and guess what? Now I have Supreme for tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Dude.
Yeah, but that's
It
fucking
worked out.
bullshit.
It worked
but would you
out
be
really
okay
well for
with
me.
only pep? Of course you would. So just get the pep.
No, I like a little shit. Like,
Yes.
personally, my favorite pizza, pepperoni, sausage, onion, bell pepper.
Ooh, that's a good
I'm sorry,
combo.
Ew.
no pepperoni. It's just sausage, onion, and bell pepper.
Ew.
Why?
You don't
What's
like?
fucking
You don't fuck
gross
with the
that?
bell pepper?
No, fuck all that up.
Yeah.
you would.
Yeah,
But here's the thing. Here's the
look,
thing. But you're gonna get. So here's the thing. To Andy's point, you're gonna order a large one of those, and you're the only one that likes it. And then I'm gonna go. God, you know what I really want?
Just pepperoni.
I'm gonna have this inner monologue that I have with myself every time we order pizza here. I'm like, don't eat the pizza. Don't eat the pizza. Fuck it. I'm gonna eat a piece of pizza. And then I get off, once I'm off that wagon, I go. You know what I really want? Another piece of pet pizza. And so I go
There you
back
go.
in there, and you know what's left? That
Nothing.
fucking abomination of a pizza that Kevin just talked about.
No, dude, that's
Where
not
it's
even-
like it's fine
Meat
if that was my
lovers is
second
fucking
slice, but
great,
it can't
man.
be my last
Yes,
slice.
exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude.
I order my pizza. Somebody orders a pepperoni, and then someone else orders some fucking stupid ass chicken pizza that nobody wants.
That's
That's
what
Greg.
I'm
It's
saying.
always
Kevin.
Greg.
It's
I'm just
annoying,
saying,
dude.
I eat my fucking pizza
Bullshit.
all the time.
I see you load up, you got 2 pieces of your pizza, and you throw a piece of pepperoni on top of that, and you go, what? And you walk by me.
I've never said what.
Fine, next time we eat, next time you
I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing.
Yeah,
that's
that's because
true.
I look at him as super judgy. I'm like, Kevin. And he goes, what? And he walks by. I'm telling you this right now. Okay, here's the deal.
At the end of the day,
Here's the deal.
I look and it's like, I had 2 slices and now all the fucking pep is gone.
No. Pep is always the first thing to go. Okay.
Such
Here's the
bullshit.
thing. If you're gonna venture out, just here's what you do. You go, how many people are here? Okay, we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of us in the office right now. Joey didn't bother showing up to work today. Whatever. We'll talk shit about her when
You
she
think
comes back
she's
in tomorrow.
okay?
Oh no, she's
she
fine.
drove down from Sacramento today.
Yeah, she was with her parents. She had a legit excuse. We're still gonna talk shit about her when she comes in tomorrow.
What I mean,
A car.
There's 5 of us
Coke
here.
exploded in her car. Did you see?
I saw that the day.
Wait, that really happened?
Hilarious. Yeah, the heat exploded at I think it was like a 12 pack, wasn't it?
No, I think it was
was
just like
just
a
one?
single. Yeah. That fucked up her entire car.
So there's 5 of us.
Yeah.
How many pizzas do we order if there's 5 of
all
us?
right, you always order too many pizzas. Last time, you ordered way too many pizzas.
Okay. So the answer
How
to
many
that,
of us were here last time?
exactly. I'd say for 5 people, 12. If we're doing 12-inch pizzas, we need to get at least 3. So I would say we need to order 5, and here's why: because I need at least 3 peps, and then Kevin can have. Then that's fine. So this is what you do: you get ahead of that. This is why I always order too much. I order 3 peps.
Too much.
Because that's all anyone wants. And then Kevin just wants a taste of the other one.
That's
He doesn't
not
want
true.
the whole thing. Nobody wants
That's not true.
onions on a piece of pizza.
Dude, I'll fuck up
I
a
fuck
whole
up the
other
other
thing.
one, yeah.
So we get one stupid fucking let's have fun, it's art pizza or whatever the hell Kevin wants. Then you get a meat lovers pizza because if I go into the back room and there's no pep left, but I see a piece of meat lovers where it's got, Andy, I'm talking about the pepperoni. I'm talking about the
Sausage.
The sausage. I'm talking about a little bit of the salami or the salumi, like a spicy bigger pep. You know, I'm fine with that. I'm fine if that's my last piece. But if my last
me
piece
salivate.
has some sort of vegetable on it, G to fuck out. Get the fuck out. GTF the fuck out. Okay, get out.
The reason I'm like again, I don't shame people on pizza. Like I respect the pepperoni pizza. Something I find myself, I always get heartburn after having only pepperoni pizza. I don't know, there's something in the
Lot of
pepperoni
oil,
that
man.
might be
It's
It's
like,
a lot of spice. Probably a lot of spice.
Yeah.
A lot of nitrates.
So I feel like you guys are talking about the pepperoni being like your palate cleanser. Like you need to close out the night with a pepperoni pizza.
You start and finish it with pepperoni. Those are bookends.
I'm just saying it's my favorite one. I'm just saying that like when I want to eat pepperoni, I want it to be readily available.
Like,
Gotcha.
I will eat a piece of like supreme pizza okay, to do my part because I feel like everyone really just wants the pepperoni pizza. So I'll be like, my second piece, I'll be like, I'll take one for the team because nobody's eating this shitty Supreme pizza.
Oh, I am.
And
That's not true.
I'll
You're thinking of the weird chicken pizza.
whatever
No
it
one eats
is,
it.
I'll be like, I'll have a
But
piece of
there's
this
a
so that
difference.
everyone can enjoy the pepperoni
The
pizza
Supreme
because that's the
doesn't
only pizza that
last.
anyone really fucking wanted to begin with.
Yeah,
Greg
cool,
Miller.
and Cool Greg is the one who like has to fucking put all these amalgamations of
He
weird
sees it.
combinations. Yeah,
I see. Sees the pizza at the end. It's always the Supreme pizza. That's
next-
over.
Greg's not trying to get into
The
this
next
fight.
day, there's a box of pizza in the fridge, and there's
chicken.
6 slices of Supreme and 4 slices of some other bullshit. And where's the pepperoni? It's gone, because that's all everybody ate.
Ladies and
me
gentlemen,
off.
ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's Kind of Funny podcast. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. If you all out there want to support this podcast, you can go over to patreon.com/kindoffunny and back us really at any of the tiers. We really appreciate you. If you want to do a fan mail tier, you get to interact with the shows.
It's hot in
You
here
get to be a
right
Patreon producer. You get to ask questions for Screencast. You get to ask Andy questions for KFAF. Lots of really, really fun things. I would do the rigmarole, but I really can't remember how to go. Even after 5 years, I can't remember how Greg does it.
This table.
We'll do it so everyone can have it because everyone always complains that I
When we
don't do
don't
the
do it,
thing.
yeah.
So I'll say this is the Kind of Funny podcast. If you didn't know, this is where people
Each and every
week, 4 sometimes 3 best friends gather on this table, each just coming with topics about their life, what's going on with their lives for your amusement. Of course, if you guys are watching this and you already bag us on Patreon, you've already done your due diligence, and you want to leave a comment in the comments below, let us know what you used to do when your parents would go out of town, and be graphic. I want you guys to explain
Don't be
every
graphic.
single part
You don't
about
have
that.
to be graphic.
Remember,
He
as
didn't say
always,
you had to be graphic.
if you're going out there
can,
having
though.
a fun time, please be responsible, drink responsibly, smoke responsibly. Do not do anything irresponsibly. And remember to always have, if you're in an area that doesn't have Uber, a designated driver, because that's still a thing that you should take
Wear a
advantage
condom.
of.
And then rule 3, don't fuck with me.
Rule 3, wear a condom. Rule 4, don't fuck with me. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it has been our pleasure to serve you. All right, we're in the post show right now.
That was a good one.
That was a great one.
That was fun.
I feel good about that. I can't wait until Tim comes back and is like, you guys talked about weed all the way up until the sponsorship.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
did a
you did
sponsorship.
that.
And then kept talking about weed and drinking. And
It's
like,
legal, bro.
It is legal, bro. It's as legal as pizza.
That's like the most interesting thing about the NFL and the NBA having to deal with this stuff. Like their
Right.
athletes keep smoking and stuff, and a lot of times they're smoking in states where it's allowed.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
You get cracked down. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like
it's
like all of this shit is like just crumbling down. This whole foundation of like, oh, it's illegal, it's bad for you. Like it is happening so fast.
It's weird that mushrooms became legal in Oakland. It's the second state in the United States to legalize it, and I saw like a news article about it.
It's very, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I think, from a very layman's perspective, because I don't really read up on this stuff that much, but I listen to Rogan's podcast. They talk about it all the time. I think there's an interesting aspect of the economics of all these drugs that they're seeing how much revenue marijuana is bringing in. And someone out there is like, we make a lot of fucking money off these things.
There you go.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think everything should just legalize everything, especially prostitution. You know,
I wanted to talk about this on the main show.
Why especially private? Like
don't
I
know.
understand the
just-
argument,
thought it
but
was
why
gonna be-
especially?
I thought it was going to be a funny joke. I had nowhere to go with it.
Yeah.
It's an hour and 40 minutes in. I apologize. Let's just move on.
I wanted to talk about this on the main show, but I'll just talk about it here. There's a sort of some guy that is in our kind of field of work by the name of Etika, who went missing recently in New York.
yeah.
He's had sort of a troubled past. He gets kicked off of YouTube and he's been banned and stuff like that. And I think he deals with a lot of mental health issues. And there was a moment where I was showing you this video where like the whole city, like the whole street in New York City was shut down because they were taking him out on a stretcher
yeah.
to like in the ambulance, and he was yelling and stuff. He's had a lot of manic episodes. He's had a lot of like weird shit happen. And recently he posted a video on YouTube, and it kind of seemed like a suicide note. It was like a video saying like, this has been crazy. It's been a wild ride. I love you all. I'll miss you all. Stuff like that. And then that video was taken off of YouTube for whatever reasons. And then he was proclaimed missing. I can't say that word. A couple days ago. The NYPD put out a tweet about him. If you've seen this person, blah, blah, blah. He's somebody that I've interacted with a few times at PAX and at Rooster Teeth and stuff like that. And it's just really sad. I implore you all, if you're feeling issues, please get help. They found his backpack and his Nintendo Switch and stuff on the Manhattan Bridge.
Oh shit.
And so it's not looking good. The search teams have been trying to find him or whatever, but yeah, it's weird when it hits closer to home like that, where it's somebody that's in the industry, in YouTube, in video games. He's more famously the guy who had a fake Nintendo Switch 3D print before the system even came out. That's how he kind of blew up.
Interesting.
He's been somebody that I've kind of hung out with at PAX one year and met him at Rooster Teeth. But yeah, it's rough. So, please seek help if you are feeling any certain way or anything like that. It's rough. It's really sad, man.
Yeah, know who you are and find the ways that help you deal with these issues. People have been I've been joking about the whole Zelda thing right now where I'm replaying through all of these games, but it's that weirdly is an avenue for me to help myself in those types of situations of focusing on something and feeling the need to accomplish something. And when you're dealing with things like that, you just need to know who you are and find out what the specific type of help that you need. I would specifically say. So
it just seems like that there's been a lot of moments where he's in the news for something else crazy, where he's yelling out of his building. Or
it sounds like he's bipolar.
He got into an altercation with a cop one time, and it would always happen where it's he's in the news again. He's doing some other dumb shit.
Even hanging out with him at Rooster Teeth, he was really, really over the top.
Yeah, there was it was PAX West 3 years ago, and he. I think he was in talks to kind of join the Let's Play Network at this time, and he just went missing. He was supposed to show up for a panel with Laserbeam. It was the year that we first met Lannon several years ago, and he was supposed to be on this panel. And he just kind of bounced, and when we were at the panel, it seemed like he was, I don't know, there was something wrong with him. So I feel like the signs have sort of been there, and it just sucks that. If he truly is gone, then I don't know. It just feels like I wish more could have been done mental health wise.
Yeah,
it's really sad. Want to wait for a second? Who's this boy? We're talking about Etika, Etika. He went missing recently, and the NYPD's been tweeting out about him to person missing, stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really sad, man. It's really sad, especially when it does feel closer to home because it is. In our realm, when it's somebody not in the gaming or YouTube sphere, you just kind of you brush it off and you read about it or whatever. But this is somebody that not somebody that I personally closely have ever known, but it's
I think about that. I think about that in regards to celebrities of the past that have just that have gone away or whose careers just erupted on them, and I often think especially with two things. I think one, because of the Me Too movement, I think about how many people were basically blacklisted because they were being abused or were being sexually harassed or whatever, and just refused it, and then their career went away. And then two, how many people just couldn't hold it together because of substance abuse or because of mental issues that went undiagnosed. And those are always the heartbreaking thing when you're there's so many celebrities who are why aren't these people huge still? And you hear the mental breakdowns or things like that, and you're that's just unfortunate. And a lot of it's probably substance abuse that does stem from some mental problems, things like that, or maybe just from when they were young and things like that. But
there
it's
are
crazy.
cases though of showing behavior of mental problems, but people not associating that with that problem and just regarding it as this is someone who's just acting like this.
This guy's a little nutty, or and that's the problem with a lot of artists, right? They talk about it a lot with comedy and with comedians, because when you're a comedian, it behooves you to be on that line of maybe he's going to say something outrageous or do something outrageous, and a lot of people don't understand. They think, oh, you're a comic, you're supposed to be like that, but what people don't really get is that these are these people, and they're tapping into this part of their brain or their being that maybe is a little dysfunctional in order to get this amazing art from. And it's an interesting debate of should we be empowering that? Because you see all these people who had they always talk about how you'll look at certain celebrities take Eddie Murphy or take Richard Pryor, right? People who didn't come from necessarily the best backgrounds.
Right.
Richard Pryor specifically, I think he was raised in a brothel because his mother was was a prostitute, and so you get that, but from that crazy background, from that level of being around all those places that you generally wouldn't want a kid to grow up in, you get this phenomenal artist, but then you get this phenomenal artist who like had very, very big problems with drugs and alcohol, to the point where, you know, famously he was smoking crack and lit himself on fire, things like that.
Yep.
Where, you know, and so you're like, where is that line being drawn? How do you keep people balanced, especially when they're being rewarded for that level of behavior or for that thought process?
Because of the output that what their output is.
Well, I mean,
It's
like Kanye
the
West
reaction.
is the most prolific of them, right?
Yes.
He's bipolar. And when he goes off his meds, he has these unbelievable
takes and tangents.
tangents. But I honestly think like that's where a lot of his greatness comes from, is that he's able to tap into that and just be this extraordinary human being. But then when it goes too far, you get him going a little what we would consider crazy. Mm-hmm. But even the term crazy is like, you have to rethink that concept, right? Because crazy just means like, if someone we like to write people out, that guy's just crazy.
Yeah,
right?
it diminishes
what they're actually going through. Yep. Well, there should be a clinical diagnosis for that, and if it's not something that we understand, we should try to understand that, because there shouldn't be anything. No one should be written off as crazy. People should be written off as, oh, maybe that person's bipolar, or that person's depressed, or that person has a chemical imbalance, or that person just needs a little extra help with X, Y, or Z. But to see people who are, oh, that person's just crazy, it's just sort of like a blanket way of people just disregarding all the madness or you know, that pain out there. And I think it's sad.
Yeah, it lessens them as a person when you say that.
It does. It definitely diminishes people.
But it sucks to hear more about that story. I remember seeing a couple of things pop up, but I didn't know the full extent of it. So that it sucks, and I'm glad you brought it up, because it's an important topic to kind of talk about, especially when it hits home. Yeah,
absolutely.
Wow. I don't know if we went. How long did we go on this post show, Kevin? That seems like a nice place to wrap it up.
We can read a couple questions.
Yeah, let's go into the chat right now and
About
see.
10 minutes in right now.
Okay, yeah, let's go into the chat. Let's give people a little extra time. Let's see. Demetrius Neal says many geniuses had mental problems. It's true, and that's what's so fascinating about it, is that you see people who have done these great things that have these. I don't want to say drawbacks, but you see they have mental issues, but that allow them to see the world in a different way.
Yep.
And so I always wonder, I'm like, especially when it comes to people who have disorders that allow them to, like, you know, like A Beautiful Mind. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
Where he has those like I think he was seeing people, or he had multiple personalities or whatever it was, but he was also a mathematical genius. And it's like, it's so weird that our normal is this baseline normal. What's up, Kev?
Oh, no, nothing. You were talking about A Beautiful Mind, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I
didn't hear the start.
Was it multiple personalities, or was it
Well, he saw people. He had people that would.
He had an auditory illusion.
Is that what it was?
Visual illusion.
Yeah, it wasn't personalities. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would basically see people that he thought were real that weren't real,
Hallucinations.
and they were hallucinations basically, but they stayed with him even toward the end of his life. Apparently,
good movie, man.
It's a great fucking movie. But that guy obviously, like, something about his brain allowed him to see the world differently. And so I think it's really, really important that we have open discussions about this stuff, because I think that there are people that are just existing outside of what we would call the baseline norm,
Right.
who can be extraordinary human beings, who can live great lives if we can just figure out how to help them do that.
Yep.
And I think all too often, like, mental health is just the one thing people still don't want to fucking talk about. And it's
know.
like,
It's
why
ridiculous.
not? It's so stupid.
Yep.
I'll talk about how my dick doesn't work before I talk about mental health. And it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my dick works great, by the way. I just want everyone to know that when I need it.
Well, thank
The
you
once
for
every 2 weeks
that.
that I need it to work is.
Thank you for
the bi-monthly?
I
to
think
get
it
there,
might have
yeah.
been Yasman who's bringing up, I think in the pre-show, that Taika Waititi is working on an animated
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon show.
Interesting.
How about you wait till screencast, all right?
What about the
talking about right now?
What about the
Dive into it.
Talking about right now?
Wachowskis and Matrix with Michael B. Jordan?
That's cool.
I saw that headline the other day.
Yeah,
That was
actually,
really
you know,
cool.
it's not cool. It's not cool.
No?
The Wachowskis have been nothing but miss since The Matrix 1 for me. They have not made a good movie since Matrix 1.
Yeah, so I presented this
Speed
to...
Racer?
You know my thoughts on
I
Speed
presented
Racer.
this to Alyssa yesterday. I was like, how would you feel about a Matrix reboot? Would you want to see that? And she's like, no. I was like, but it's got Michael B. Jordan in it. And she's like, all right, yeah, I'll see that. I'll see the fuck out of that.
Did you tell her that the Wachowski siblings are doing it, or sisters?
I don't
are doing
think she
it?
really like knows or cares that much about like that in depth of film of who they are that she'd be like, oh, Michael B. Jordan's in it. I'll go watch him for 2 hours.
I think
just-
2 and 3 were really rushed. Like, we know that for a fact that they were very rushed. And like, 1 necessarily isn't a movie that needed a sequel. It's like You know?
It's kind of
I think
perfect.
with this-
Ending with Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
It's perfect, dude.
Oh no, number one was almost a perfect movie in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I love that shot at the end where it's done. They ended it.
Yeah.
That's literally the perfect ending for that entire franchise.
What, him flying away like Superman?
Fuck yeah, dude, where he goes like he's talking to the actual machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Don't worry, it's okay. Like we're gonna we're aware
They
of it, but
wrapped
we're
it
gonna
up
figure it
in,
out."
like,
I forget how
such
he
a
said
great-
it. But then, yeah, he's just basically a superpowered entity that exists in the Matrix that's going to bridge the gap between everyone that's in the Matrix and the machines. And then you just, wow.
It's so dumb, dude.
I just sang like 3 Rage Against the Machine songs, but because I can't remember if it was,
all
it's
them.
not Bulls on Parade. It's,
No. It's like it's a song that I don't think ever was a single, really.
oh yeah, it was. No, it was, it's, bow,
Bring it up,
down, down,
Was it? No, that's post Zach de la Rocha. That's what are you just saying
Kevin,
is
look it up.
No.
is Stone Temple Pilots
What
guy
up?
or no?
Oh, you're right.
What the song is at the end of Matrix.
That other
You're
Audio
right.
Slave.
I sang Audio Slave. No, the song at the end of Matrix was, I think it was either on Battle for LA or.
Mike Ellis also says the Wachowskis did the screenplay for Viva Vendetta, which is fucking awesome. That movie is
Wow,
great.
called Wake Up.
Yeah, it's
Wake
Wake Up. Movie screams Wake
Yeah.
Up. It's Zach De La Rocha. It's fucking great.
But
I think
what
it's on
album
Battle
is
for.
it? Yeah, what album is
I think it was on Battle for Los Angeles. Oh, we're gonna get claimed.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
God, dude, there's nothing
I-
cooler.
it's
a fucking there's nothing cooler than Rage, man.
Yeah,
really
dude, Wake
hope-
Up.
I haven't watched that movie
Can
probably
you
since high
Google
school.
just Wake Up Rage Against the Machine? See what album that was on, Kevin? Because that's gonna bother me.
I really hope that this has totally to do with like this sequel movie. I think it was just for this.
Oh, it was on there self-titled.
Rage Against the Machine. Is that what it was?
yeah.
Yeah. Was that the one with the guy where it was the Tibetan monk on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the fucking. What a fucking album cover that was.
Hardcore, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But I just don't remember that being a single. Like I
don't know
Because it
singles,
wasn't-
but that was definitely one of the tracks
because
on.
Evil Empire was the album that came after. That's when they kind of like broke or whatever.
Evil
Empire
Empire.
dun 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 doo 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 dun 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 doo doo doo.
And also, whichever one had
Killing in
Calm
the
Like a
Name
Bomb. Calm Like
That's
a Bomb
Battle for
is
Los
my
Angeles.
favorite fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's so good.
So dope, dude.
Man, what happened to Rage? Why'd they break up?
I don't know if they ever broke up.
They were just kind of like in and out
yeah.
and shit.
They return and they leave and they come back.
Yeah.
They're like
they
Pink
try to come
Floyd.
back definitely in this like new like era of politics and try to do something.
Yeah.
But they weren't really successful like it as what's
Green
the,
Day?
the no the hip hop group from like the 90s. Fucking
De La Soul.
no, god damn it. Why am I blanking on it?
I don't know.
They came out. There's a hip hop group that came back in like 2016 that like did that same thing where they were like kind of in like the nebulous and then returned and came back to this political climate and were like, we got something to say. And Rage tried to do the exact same thing and I feel like did just a horrible job at it.
Oh, Killing the Animal was in self-titled. Bulls on Parade was Evil Empire.
Oh,
but I just remember Rage hitting in Evil Empire. That was like, and then they took it to catastrophic levels when it was Battle of Los Angeles.
Dude,
that was like
talk
when they
about
were
a
MVP.
1, 2, 3
They were
hit.
MTV everywhere. Battle of
What
Los
was
Angeles.
what's that fourth one? Renegade? No, not Renegades of Funk. The one I could see the album cover had different colors on it. I think it was the last album they put out. It had Renegades of Funk on it. We're the Renegades of Funk. Pop it's like a hip hop. You know, remember that shit? That's fucking dope. They did a cover of
Renegades. Yeah.
Renegades. Yeah, they did a cover of
Yeah, that one.
yeah, that was fucking nasty. They did a cover of Cypress Hill. That's what it was, right? Yeah.
thank you, Demetrius.
Tribe Called
It's
Quest.
Tribe Called Quest is who I'm thinking of.
God damn.
Fuck
Rage
yeah.
was the shit.
Rage
They're
was
still
the
good.
shit.
Musically, they were so fucking good.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Like, you just imagine, that's one of those bands that if you're a music exec and you hear them the first time, you're like, oh, fuck.
Like,
We
there's
gotta
something here.
sign these motherfuckers
Yeah.
up. Sign them up.
It was always the coolest thing where Tom Morello would be like, that you would hear weird sounds on the album, and it was always known that like all sounds heard are guitar by Tom Morello.
Yeah.
And it was such a cool like gimmick that like
oh
yeah,
shit,
this
like
isn't-
how did they do it?
This wasn't a traditional thing. This was like tricks with the pickups and like magnets and like weird shit like that. It was really
cool
cool.
as fuck. Cool
Really
as
awesome.
fuck.
Yeah.
All right, that does it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's
We're
it
good.
for us. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much for all of your patronage. We love all of you. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.
Love y'all. Thank you.